Hello everyone, welcome back to another Tomato Sauce stream. Today we're going to be making our first impressions tier list for the brand new boxes that we got about a week ago. I think it's technically it's 6 days, but we're going to go with it because, you know, we won't be doing another stream until Sunday, and we wanted to do it before then. Other than that, we will be playing some Cyber Dragons, which is a weird deck at the moment. They only got one new card, no new skill. So there are a couple of different ways to play it, and I don't know which one we're going to like the most. So we're probably going to, like, I don't know, maybe bounce around a few decks and see which one feels the best. Or we might just, like, full send it with one deck that we do like. Because there are a couple of different skills that do kind of work quite well with the deck, but they're a bit generic, right? They're not, like, super Cyber Dragon focused, so like there is that. But let's see who we have in the chat. We have Luis Fernando, Sidra Bros, why Konami you hate Sidra, just left Sidra, just use Innovator. So again, this is what some people have started doing because Innovator is no longer limit 3. They just kind of dropped the Cyber Dragon skill, but it's still a bit up in the air whether it's worth hamstringing yourself in a different way, but you're now allowed to use a skill that pluses you and allows you to use Innovator. So, like, I feel like no matter what choice you go with, there's always a bad, like, negative to having that choice, right? So it's a bit awkward, but it is what it is. We have CZ in the chat. How does Hero feel? Looks pretty much like one run through the box or some luck will get you the new cards you need at one copy and be okay. I personally think that you probably want to have 2 Shining, which is a little bit annoying, so that's a UR. Outside of that, it's basically fine. Like, I don't think you need more than 1 Voltic, at least not at this stage. So, like, I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. Most of the other cards in the box, though, you're not really going to need. Obviously, you're going to get your Sparkman, you're going to get your Clayman. That's, like, a given, right? But I think the deck is reasonably strong. I don't think it's like the strongest deck in the meta by any stretch, but it's like it can kind of hold its own. It's kind of around. It's in the meta. It's just kind of towards the bottom of it. I think we'll have one more box before Worlds. Maybe there will be Sidra cards. I mean, yeah, we spoke about this a lot last time, but if we're going by last year's release schedule, there'll be one more product release. And last year it was a super mini. It could be a super mini again. It could be a mini. It could be a deck. It could be anything, right? But I would expect another product to come out. It could even just be a structure deck, right? They could do whatever they wanted. It'll be interesting to see what they do decide to give us. Maybe the Fusion Assault. I mean, there are a lot of different cards they could give us, right? Like Search has a Fusion. Assault has a Fusion. Processor has the Fusion. There's a lot of stuff they could give us, and a lot of main deck cards as well. We don't have Cyber Griffin. We don't have Cyber Serpent. There are just a lot of Cyber Dragon cards we still don't have, so if they wanted to give us another big wave of support with a brand new skill, they could, and the deck will probably skyrocket to being absolutely fantastic. So we'll have to see what they actually decide to do with that. Tomato Cerso, hello, Giorfio. Welcome on in, my friend. Hope you're having a great time. We have Gunkin Suship Shari once again. Hello. Hope you're having a good time. And then we have the Quantum Cubes, the cubes who are Quantum. And we do need to update our exclamation mark Quantum, but we're going to throw it there for now. We do need to update this. It's very important we do update this at some point, because this should be like, go check out the Rush Duel World Champions channel. But right now it's not doing that. But Tomato, unzip the tier list now. We will be doing our tier list. I am quite excited to do it. I am quite excited to do the tier list. I think most people, obviously, most people in this chat are people that are already quite deep into Rush Duel Links. So y'all probably know where things are going to go. Y'all know our criteria. Y'all know our kind of opinions and what, like, kind of influences my opinions. So you're going to kind of already have an idea of where it's going to go. Yes, first tier list. We have Zaki Boys. Hello, Zaki Boys. Maybe use the skill draw +1 and you can use the Innovator. Yes. So the 3 skills I think that you can play with Sidra reasonably is going to be 1, the cybernetic customization, combat customization, which is like the Cyber Dragon skill. This gives you consistency, and consistency is obviously very, very important. Then it's Light Ray or Light Star Sign, which is like... It gives consistency, which is good. It gives a +1, which is good. But it locks you into only fusion summoning once, so it kind of makes the Sidra package feel like a engine, right? It's like a package you slot in rather than building the deck around it, because you can only fusion once. So having all access to all of these different Cyber Dragon cards doesn't mean anything if you're just going to make a Cyber Twin or a Cyber End once, and then you can't do it ever again, right? If you're going to go for the OTK on that turn, sure, that's fantastic. It's just going to work 100%. If you're not going to OTK with it, it's a little bit awkward. Whereas Processor's primary, like, advantage it has is being able to have access to Cyber Dragon a lot and just have lots of Cyber Dragons, which lets you make multiple Cyber Dragon fusions, so it's a little awkward. And then the other one is going to be Fusion Deal, which is just, you know, if you're playing Cyber Dragon and you're not playing a skill that searches it, you're going to be playing 3 copies of Fusion, so you just turn Fusion into a draw 1 once per duel. It's not great. It's not fantastic. It's just a +1. Doesn't really add any consistency, but again, does let you use Innovator and lets you fuse more than once. So this is what I mean. All 3 of these skills have negatives attached to them, and all of them are quite big drawbacks. So there's not like a very, very good way to play Sidra. It's like, do you want this way, which has this bad part, this way, which has this bad part, or this way, which has this bad part? And it's like, ugh. Heroes definitely want 3 circulation, though, so that's 3 runs. Yes, 100%, 100%. I think some people have been trying it with 2, and I think they have had very middling success. I think you can get away with 2 if you're like, if you're just a ladder player, you're not looking to play tournaments, you're not looking to like play like big, like WCQ slash what are they called, GRFs. Like if you're just a ladder player, you're just trying to cog, I think you could probably get away with 2. And that's another thing you have to remember is, like, when it comes to the YouTube side of what we do, most of the people who are going to be watching the YouTube are ladder players. They're people that are like, I just need to cog every month, and that's all I'm really concerned about. So like for them, it's kind of like, you know, 2 runs would probably be fine, but I would always recommend 3. 100%, 100%. But we also have Rey Miro. Hello, hello. Buenos dias, Espanol. Well, unfortunately, I don't speak Spanish, but welcome, welcome on in. The problem is putting it at the end of tier 2 or at the top of tier 3. It's a weird one because it's very obvious which decks are better than which other decks. The question that always tends to have a lot of nuance and that gets people like debating and arguing is whether or not a deck should be a tier above another deck or not. Because in some cases, the decks are all so close that you're like, you could just put all of them in the same tier and that'd be fine. But there is like still a noticeable difference between those decks in amongst themselves. So it's like, well, then you could put them in different tiers and then it creates, you know, weird conflicting ideas. But for now, I think we might as well jump on in and we can start covering some topics. So there hasn't really been much in the way of news. Not really. We have this new Starlight Starbright campaign, and that's kind of it. So this is a new campaign. We're going to get some gems. We're going to get some crafting stuff for the Chronicles. We're going to get a new map. We're going to get pack and some tickets. I mean, that's nice. It's not anything super exciting, but, you know, it's free stuff. This should be happening in like 4 days. Which is nice. Again, it's nothing like insane. We're going to get a Prismatic UR Dream Pack, which is neat. The issue is because it's a pack, it's going to be completely random. So we'll see what we get. SR Dream Ticket, let's go. I mean, yeah. I mean, do you need that? I suppose you might need that. Because I assume this is going to contain, because the ticket comes out after we already have the brand new box. I assume the brand new box is going to be included, but I never know if that's actually how that works. They just seem to do it as a whim. They're just like, oh, we'll just have whatever we want, and we'll just decide that this gets to be in the ticket or not. But, you know, it's cool. It's neat. The other thing I did want to mention, if we go ahead and flip this over a little bit, how we do this? We'll do that. Is definitely not new box. Yeah, I mean, that's a shame, right? We do have the Starry Rush Cup number 10, which is going to be on today. This should be starting in about 6 hours. And I will be casting this along with Brian. So, if you want to see me yapping about tournaments, if you miss me yapping during the Angel Cup, because the Angel Cup has seemed to cease to be, this will be the place. So, you know, if you want to support me, you want to support Brian, then, you know, go ahead and sign up to the Starry Rush Cup. Definitely box. Money so scared to give us more UR Dream tickets. Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Hello, Sakadetsu. Welcome, welcome. Not even the one with Eternal. Not even the one with Eternal was what? That's like 2-3 months old now. I mean, we can literally go and check, right? We have the technology. So that was 9th of the 5th. That was literally 2 months ago, and they still won't even put that in there. That's come on. Come on, Konami, what we doing? What we doing? Wow, a dream ticket for Rush? How fucking useful. Hello, Manicus. Welcome, welcome. But maybe there is Candy Live, so join Tech Leo. Yeah, I mean, join Tech Leo's neat. The thing is, I have 3 of every Rush card, except for... I think I still don't have the 3rd Dokiball. I think we came to that conclusion. So, like, unless the ticket gets me Gokiball, it's not really interesting to me. I don't think it will arrive in the Eternal box. Yeah, it's a shame. It is a shame. But yeah, make sure you sign up to the Starry Rush Cup, guys. Make sure you sign up. Then I'll get to cast your games and it'll be fun. But, moving on from that is going to just be... We kind of already looked at this. We haven't had another tournament, so it's just kind of the exact same as last time. But this time, we're going to be making a tier list. So on Tuesdays, occasionally we would have... I think it was... Cloudy Rush used to be Tuesdays, and Rushdoll Dynasty used to be Tuesdays or Wednesdays. I'm not gonna lie, I lose track. There's a lot of tournaments that go on. But we haven't had either of those this week, so we have less tournament results than we would normally have, I suppose. But like, we still have a decent amount here. This is good enough. 3 of every Rush card. You must be looking forward to the dream tickets. Exactly. Hello, E-Hero. Essentially, not updating spoilers anymore. Where do I see the new stuff from the update? So the new stuff, whenever it gets data mined, is always in the same place, which is always going to be on the Duel Links Discord. They have a data mine section, and that's where everything gets posted. That includes, like, Brad posts in there, all of the usual data miners post in there, just everything always goes in there. And then what generally would happen originally is Brad would take that and put it on the website, and then I take that and either use what's on the website on DLM, or I would go directly from here and throw it onto my channel. So that's basically how you do it. Like, as soon as the data mines get posted, I do also post them in my Discord server, but it's always very important to remember that the data miners are the one doing the hard work. It's always going to be British Piper, it's Sion Lay, it's Quaz, it's Brad, it's all of those guys who are all, you know, over in the Duel Links Discord, which is just, you know, the generic Duel Links, like, I don't know if it's the Reddit Discord, but it's the Duel Links Discord. Damn Rush, tomorrow is Speedbox. Check Stardust Dragon Assault Mode on YouTube. I mean, we've already seen a bunch of Stardust Dragon Assault Mode. We already went over that entire box, actually, when we got those leaks. Because Stardust Dragon Assault Mode, I think, looks... I think the card is fine. The issue is, I think Red Dragon Archfiend Assault Mode is so mid. Like, it's just so mid. At least in my opinion, it just looks so mid. Like, Stardust Dragon at least looks like it can kind of do things. I don't know what we're meant to do with Red Dragon Assault. I'm just not feeling it personally. What tab is it under? I can't find it. It's just data mines. Just data mines. And I assume by tab you mean channel as well. I'm just assuming we're on the same page. Hello, Duan. Welcome, welcome. I keep getting kicked from the Discord. I assume it's Whoop still holding a grudge. Which Discord? Which Discord are you getting kicked from? Because Whoop isn't in the Duel Links Discord. I love the Stardust Dragon Assault Mode. I think Stardust Dragon Assault Mode is cool. But, like, The one with all the leaks in? Yeah, Whoop isn't in that Discord. Whoop gets kicked from that Discord. You're in the same boat there. The trick is, never say anything, and they have no reason to kick you. Why would you think that Whoop had power in that Discord anyway, by the way? Just out of curiosity. Like, first off, you're like, Whoop might not like me, so he might be the one kicking me. And then two, it's just like, Whoop isn't in that Discord server. And also, even if he was in that server, why would he have power? I never say anything, they just kick me. I mean, I got nothing to tell you, man. I got nothing. We finally will get Stardust Assault Mode and Assault Sentinel. Which one's Assault Sentinel? Oh, is that the one that searches? I'm gonna look this up quick. Because I know there's a bunch of cards that just have, like, Assault that... Right, so you tribute this card, special summon one monster from your hand or deck that specifically lists Assault Mode activate in its text, except Assault Sentinel. Also, you cannot special summon monster from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Synchro Monsters. You can target one face-up monster you control, reveal one Synchro Monster in your extra deck, and if you do, type and attribute become the same as the revealed monster at the end of the turn. So what's the benefit of this? So you can use this to grab a different Assault Mode activate card, but you can't special summon the ones that have to be summoned in a specific way. So it's got to be like one of the, like, you know, these sort of cards. The cards that aren't the actual Assault Mode monsters. Which Discord is that? Just the Duel Links Discord. I can't give you more than that because it's just called Duel Links. It's just called Duel Links. I assume it is the Reddit one, but again, I don't know enough about what goes on behind the scenes. They just kicked me. Do you need to verify on that Duel Links Reddit Discord, or it kicks you? Potentially. I joined this so long ago, but I could not tell you. I literally could not tell you if you have to do that. I assume it's Whoop because it's always Whoop causing the issues. Pity Canada server? I mean, is the core card what summon? You special summon Psy Reflector. Okay, so you get this guy out, right? So this card is normal special summoned, so you do it off of the Sentinel. Add a Assault Activate or a card specifically lists it in its text from your deck to your hand. So you summon him, you sacrifice him, right? That's, I believe, Sentinel is sacrifice him. He's down here. Yeah, tribute this card, so you don't get a +1 off that, but you do get a +1 off of him. Then you can grab either one of your bosses, or the actual trap card itself, and then you can activate the trap card using the skill if you want from your hand. You can reveal Assault Mode Activate in your hand, then target one monster in your graveyard, specifically Assault Mode Activate in its text, accept it, special summon it, and if you do, increase its level by 4. Okay, so you could theoretically go Sentinel, Psy Reflector, grab a card from deck, and bring back Assault Sentinel. And then increase Assault Sentinel's level by 1 to 4. To then use it as material to go into, assuming, you know, you'll make it a 6. No, a 7, because Stardust's an 8. Then you'd use this as the level 1 tuner, go into Stardust, activate Assault Mode from your hand, because the skill lets you do that. Hunky dory. You summon Psy Reflector, so if you're getting kicked every time you join, you choose the Verify Me Security Bot Direct Messages. There we go. Do that. So you got 3 more copies of it. And Psy Reflector, Search, Trap, or Wolf, and then you revive Sentinel. Could be any type you wanna for Synchro Summon. I guess that's important. The thing is, obviously, within the context of what we're doing here, we're going to be making Stardust Dragon, right? So it doesn't matter what the types are. But I assume it will for, like, a lot of the other ones. Second effect. The upcoming skills not restrict you. You can cook so much. Kick me first. You don't grab boss, you always get trap. The thing is, doesn't the skill get you the trap? So, like, I'm just wondering if you need it. But again, I haven't read the skill in a while, so... I mean, we can go and have a look quick, right? Before we get into the tier list. Is it one of these? I assume it's not actually in any of this. I'm going to assume I'm going to have to go over to the actual... the leaks on the Discord and find it. Assault Star Acceleration. So you can normal summon one monster that mentions Assault Mode activate in addition to your normal summoner set. You can activate Assault Mode from your hand. Reveal Assault Mode activate. Yeah, so it does it. The skill does not search Assault Mode activate. Okay, that's very important to know. Yeah, they have that bot that sends you a link to verify your account, and if you don't do it, it kicks you out of the Discord. Probably just like bot protection, right? Which archetype you can equip with Assault Mode because you have additional normal summon. Anything synchro related. Defleur, perfect. Although I think it's actually going to work because you need the skill for Defleur, and you're probably going to want the skill for this. I did that and it still hates me. Well, just stop being bad at Discord. That's the secret, really. Yeah, but I can't think of anything that actually has a chance versus the meta. I mean, you're not wrong. We just like to cope, right? That's what we do here. We cope. We cope and we drink. Sentinel, second ability, make him important for other combos. I see. TG Assault Mode better is the best. The problem is you won't be able to use the Assault Mode skill with it. So you're just going to be like playing one of the other just generic TG skills or just playing some generic skill, which is fine. It's just, it means that you'll have to activate, unless there's another way around it, you're going to have to activate Assault Mode activate as a trap card. Which, like, if you're going first, it might not be too bad. No, the trap is a brick. If you want to search it with the beast. Oh Christ, there's more. Which one's beast? This one. Oh Christ, this is an ancient card. This is a card that came out when Assault Mode came out. I mean, it makes sense that you play this, right? Because you just pitch it, grab it. It's basically like E-emergency call, right? Except it's very hyper-fucking specific. If not, the skill won't let us summon TG. This skill just for Pape Tricks new content. Who is Pape Tricks? Is that? I don't mean to just who someone. I've just literally never heard of them. So I'm actually curious who this person is, or if that's like a typo because I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce that. If we get Assault Reboot, then we can run TG. If not, then nope. I see. Mr. Tomato, I'm like one of the few people who still use Assault Mode. I see. You're one of the strange people. Let's check out Assault Reboot. Now, I respect it when people have pet decks that they play, even when the meta has absolutely left them behind. I absolutely respect that. Tribute 1, Assault Mode monster. Special summon Assault Mode monster from your deck with a different name and defense position during its summons conditions. You can banish off your graveyard and target any number of cards in your graveyard with different names that are Assault Mode activate and or specifically list Assault Mode activate in their text, except Assault Reboot. Shuffle them into the deck. Okay. I mean, this doesn't feel like it fixes a lot of the issues. It just feels like it's a nice tool. It's like whipped cream on top of the cake. This is a bait box before the Ra Tier 0 box. I did see that there was like some Ra stuff coming. And that is very interesting. So like, I'm curious to see what happens there. Because I have been a Ra... I don't want to say a Ra hater, but like... Ra has always been a deck, when it was actually kind of popular and being used a lot, it was always like, well, this deck's kind of free, unless you've opened so badly that you can't stop them from just OTKing you. So it was always like, either I just auto-win because I've drawn a reasonable hand, or I auto-lose because my hand is ass, and there's like nothing in between. And now, more recently, I have been hating on Sphere Mode. But mainly it's Lava Golem, but Sphere Mode is like just kind of super Lava Golem, depending on how you look at it. So it's like, not the biggest Ra fan, if I'm being completely honest. Not strange, just old. I mean, that's what I think a lot of people say though, right? Because there are people that have like their really lovely pet decks, and they will still bring them constantly to tournaments. There was it Dr. Dinosaurio who would bring Gimmick Puppet to like every event? I don't know if he still does that, but I remember there was a time where someone was doing that. And there's like a couple of other people that will just always bring their like main deck. Like there was a bunch of people that would play Sky Striker every single tournament, even when it was like not in the meta really. We still don't have Colossal Fighter or its Assault Mode. Well, Colossal Fighter is a... Like, it could come out now. I understand not wanting to release it with, like, the start of Synchros, just because that card is, like, awkward, and it was used in a lot of, like, loops. And I'm pretty sure Konami just don't really like loops. The only way you can shut me is by kissing me. Trying to prove how much you really want me to shut up. Damn, throwing down the gauntlet right there. If they added Agnista, I'd play Speed. Is Agnista really the, like, the bridge to get you into Speed? Is that it? Because, like, I've never had any love for Agnista. But again, I have still not watched Vrains, right? We were, like, what, 20 episodes in or something, if that. Before, like, we kind of got derailed and life started getting in the way. But that deck has done nothing for me, personally. Like, whenever I think of Agnista, I usually get it confused with Virtual World. Because, like, VW is just, like, a quote-unquote, good and popular deck for quite a long time. Konami is scary of the strongest warrior. Orcus Stardust mode. Wait a minute. I don't... What? Quantum say yes would. There we go. There we go. Nope. No Orcust with my Synchro Warriors. Now that's fine. We need more Orcust in the game. I think Orcust is nothing but positives. Nothing but positives from Orcust. I forget his name, but I missed the guy that would only ever play Red Eyes, like classic Red Eyes, as in Red Eyes Fusion set 3 paths. Mad lad. Absolute mad lad. I love that sort of thing, though. I love it when there are just, like, one-tricks who have a pet deck, and they will just play it every tournament, regardless of how, like, out of the meta, how underperforming it is. Because you've just got to respect it. You have to respect the dedication. If they added Flu, I would play Speed. Flu is a deck... I don't dislike the Flu cards. I do dislike the Flu deck, as in, like, the TCG Flu deck. Because it's just stun. It's just stun. It's just slap a load of floodgates on the board. Try and not let the opponent play the game. I just think those decks are so mid. And I think because of that, Flu has a really, really bad reputation. I don't know if the Flu deck we would get in Duel Links would be stun. Because a lot of the stun tools have been cracked down on, so... yeah, Agnista is my literal favorite deck in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ah, okay, okay. I mean... Again, I don't have any personal love for it, but maybe if I'd watched the anime all the way through, I would feel a bit different. I think for me, my favorite deck is still always just going to be Fluffle. I love Sora from the show. I love all of their boss monsters. I love the way the deck plays. I love the aesthetic. The only negative I have to say about Fluffle, again, I've said this a bunch of times, their going first is garbage. The only way they really do anything going first in a meaningful capacity, because people will be like, oh, you can make Dweller, and you can have Scythe to have a pop during your opponent's turn. Let's face it, that is not strong enough these days. That is nowhere near strong enough. But the only way to give them that strong turn 1 is to put, like, the 4-horse, like, end board Apocalypse, whatever it's called. The 4 end board of the 4 horsemen of the end board. I can't remember what the meme was. But yeah, you need, like, things like Apo, you need things like Toad, you need just generic bullshit to just slap on the board to be like, haha, this is my turn 1. But just, unfortunately, not super healthy for the game, not super healthy. Dragoon featuring set 3. I mean, do you think Dragoon could come to Duel Links, right? Not necessarily, like, right now, but do you think the environment is in a place where Dragoon could make its way to Duel Links in, like, the next year? Because I could see Dragoon coming to Duel Links as a massive event. Sort of like Worlds campaign, right? Like, they go to Worlds, you get all the trailers for, like, the new upcoming stuff coming to Duel Links, and then, like, Dragoon would be a fantastic card to slap on that and be like, everyone's getting a Dragoon. There you go. Now, again, that could be a year in the future. That could be 2 years in the future. But I think that is sort of the right place for it, right? There were 2 Xerox who still playing it, and another guy I forgot. I see. I apologize for something you like, but I really hope we never get that deck. It's really for the birds. Yeah, the birds. Again, it's not about the archetypical cards themselves, right? It's never about that. In some cases it is, but in this case, I think it's more about the cards you play around it, right? It's like, in TCG, Elemental Heroes is just a stun deck, right? It's, I'm going to summon out Darklaw, turn off your graveyard effectively, we're going to stop you from adding cards, I'm going to throw something on your board that makes it difficult for you to make plays. It just basically plays stun. And a lot of people love Heroes, but they're not super fond of, like, their deck being a stun deck. A Dragoon with Rainbow Neos. Oof. Now Dragoon would be a stool deck, but with Red Eyes Fusion and Duel Links. I see. Everyone get a Dragoon? Oh well. So you're gonna want Guru Control and Duel Links like TCG? Well, the thing is, right? Control decks are in a bit of a weird spot. Because in Duel Links, and I guess a little bit in TCG as well, I'm not even really sure what a control deck is anymore. Because everyone's basically trying to kill each other within the first 1 or 2 turns of the duel anyway. So it's like, is a control deck just a deck that makes it to turn 5 or 6? Is that now what a control deck is? Like, it's weird. It muddies the water so much. We already have that. That's literally what I'm playing. Well, there you go then. There we go. Because, like, it's a weird one. It's a very... It gets... The water gets very muddied, I think, when we start, like... As the game evolves, some of the terminology gets a bit funky. But, like, yeah, personally for me, I think the control-y style decks in Duel Links, I've never been a huge fan of, because fundamentally they end up just being stun decks. And I think there's a difference between a stun deck and an interactive deck. Because a stun deck is effectively saying, I don't want to interact with you. Whereas you can have a control deck that has a lot of interactions and tries to stop your opponent from playing the game, but they do it by interacting constantly, right? So there's non-interaction stun, and then there's very interactive, like, annoying control. And I think the stun is so much worse. I despise stun so much. Yu-Gi-Oh! Control decks are just aggro decks that recur resources. That's kind of what it feels like sometimes, right? It's like, because generally you spin plates and you spend all your resources to try and kill your opponent, and then if you don't kill them, you die on the crackbacks, you're out resources. Whereas a control deck is a deck that just refills their hand and just gets to do it every turn, so that they have grind game, right? And that's kind of it. Which is weird. It's weird. It's very strange. But we should crack on. We should crack on with this tier list, because otherwise we're going to be sat here yapping forever and ever and ever and never actually start doing this. So I guess we start where we start all tier lists, and that is at the mighty spreadsheet. So the life point total in Duel Links being so low leads to decks having the ability to kill the opponent basically regardless of how many life points they have, if their board is clear. Yes. And a big part of that is, like, it's really powerful skills, really powerful cards that have been brought out as the meta's kind of just gone on, right? As time has advanced, we keep putting more and more modern cards in. Modern cards are stronger than older cards. Having 4,000 life points plus a really good skill is going to make it basically be over very quickly. I do wonder if Konami balances the game based around how long a game takes. Because, like, in my mind, that actually does kind of make some sense, right? They don't care necessarily that the game is super imbalanced, in the sense of, as long as it's not so imbalanced people are quitting, they don't really care. So much as we just want games to be a certain length. We have, like, a minimum time we want games to last and a maximum time we want games to last. And as decks have gotten more complicated, now your turns take longer, whereas before you'd have duels getting to, like, turn 10, turn 11, turn 12. Because the turns were quicker, the amount of time spent actually playing the game might actually work out to being about the same. So that's kind of how I feel. They're like, we don't care that the game's now only taking, like, 2 to 3 turns, because lengthwise it's still the same amount of time being spent on the game. What do you predict will win Quantum Meme today? That is a good question. What is going to win Quantum Meme? Because it should be... So we're having 2 tournaments today. I don't believe Quantum's posted his yet. We're expecting a Quantum tournament today. Quantum Rush. I assume it's going to be Rush. Because I believe we're getting Speed like tomorrow or something. But we'll be having 2 Rush tournaments back to back today, which is a lot of Rush. That's a lot of Rush. What do I think's gonna win? I mean, the obvious answer is if we just follow the stats, Light Galaxy probably has the best chance. Red Boot could easily take it. If we're going for, like, you know, the dark horses, it's gonna be Spellcaster or Hero. True Draco is like a control deck in Duel Links. Sadly, it's so bad. I mean, it's another... Oh, sneezed everywhere. It's another one of those decks where in TCG it's a stun deck. So I'm like... It's sort of got the same rep as Flu in a lot of ways. That's kind of how I look at it. So, I don't know. I've never been a big fan of True Draco, but I think that's because I have prejudice against it because it was a stun deck in a different format, right? Now add Dragoon to it. Duel Link Speed Duel could honestly go to 6,000 or even 8,000 life points. I mean, Rush Duel could easily go to 8,000 or 10,000 life points, to be honest. And it wouldn't make a difference. You would still get OTK 80% of the time. Yes. But I think the difference is there will now be 20% less OTKs. And in a lot of ways, that means that some decks will not be viable anymore. Right? If you have a smaller life total, theoretically, more decks can do less damage. Right? Like, you understand what I'm saying when I say that, right? Like, more decks should be able to deal 4,000 damage than decks that can deal 8,000 damage, right? So, in a way, having less life points means more decks can be viable, but it's a weird way to look at it. No, thank you, not necessary or wanted. I mean, if you got to remember as well, when Dragoon came out in TCG, everyone just started playing it in every deck. It was just like, I'm going to put Dark Magician, Red Eyes Black Dragon, and Red Eyes Fusion just in a deck. Just the 3 of them. And then we just hope we don't open either of the 2 breaks. And then it was what? It was, the Predaplant guy. What's his name? The Link monster that grabs you a fusion spell. I can't remember what he's called. Someone will know. He was massive like a year or 2 years ago. And now he's like banned and everything. Rush is Thursday, yeah. Rush is usually Thursday, but it does get moved sometimes. Anaconda, yes. Thank you, Louise. Thank you. Yeah, like, Rush does get moved around sometimes, depending on what else is going on. But I assume because there should be a Speed tournament tomorrow, we'll be getting a Rush tournament today. That would make sense, right? Which is the other Rush tournament? So there is Starry Rush. We have Starry Rush. July 3rd. That's today. It starts at 6. That's in 4.5 hours. 4.5 hours. I'll post it in chat. There you go. Starry Cup. If Quantum posts his tournament and I see it get posted, I will also post that in chat. I don't want to play favorites. But this one should wrap up around-ish when Quantum starts, so they should just kind of flow into each other. Starry Rush, that's like 2023. That's very... It definitely says 2025 on it. I did double check. Can we do the tier list now? I mean, we can. We get off topic quite a lot here. I mean, you should know this. Now, more life points isn't the solution because 4 months from now, OTK will still be easy and you guys will ask for more life points. What if, right? What if 20,000? 20,000 life points, right? And then we change every skill to be infinite times per duel. So we're just OTKing each other, but now we survive every OTK. And then we'll just keep OTKing again and again and again for 3 turns. And then we win. Easy, right? Easy. Is that Cyclone Valley in the chat? Hello, Cyclone. Welcome. You've literally, we're kind of like wrapping up on the speed duel talk right as Cyclone shows up. So that's just how it be. That is just how it be. But we've also managed to absolutely deface the spreadsheet. There we go. This is the tournament results we have had so far. I mean, it's pretty 20k life points. Time to bust out my boy Magnum Overlord. True. Just imagine. Just imagine. But we have Light Galaxy, Light Galaxy, Light Galaxy. Who would have thought? Light Galaxy. Best deck. Barely got touched on the ban list. Still the best deck. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? But if we get down and take a look at our pie chart, it is basically in a tie. Light Galaxy Fusion, 40.9%. Red Boot, 40.9%. Light Galaxy wins the tiebreak because it's one more events, but effectively we are seeing a dead heat between Light Galaxy and Red Boot. Spellcasters, significantly down, right? Only at 13% compared to 40%. That is a significant drop-off. And Heroes barely hanging in there. Barely hanging in with 4.5%. So not looking great, not looking great. Christ, how in the hell is Spellcaster so low? Because it's not Light Galaxy or Red Boot. That is how. I mean, we can go look at the top 8 as well, because this is like, again, a similar representation, right? Once again, exact tie, 17% for Spellcasters, Heroes a little bit higher. And then there's Royal Rebels, guys, 1.7% Royal Rebel, sneaking into that top 8 finish. Oh, we're just clicking buttons now. All right. But so far, we've only actually seen 5 decks. And that's not too surprising. Some of the newer decks aren't going to have a lot of representation. Some of the older decks people aren't going to bother bringing because they want to play the new stuff. Because it's still week 1, right? Still week 1. Spellcaster can sack, but not consistently. More! Hello, Dragson. Welcome, welcome. But this was our last tier list. This was our last tier list, which was, we were in a very much a 3-deck meta. So, first things first. I think it's fair to say Light Galaxy stays where it is, right? I don't think anyone's going to object to that. Red Boot is basically the same, right? It's got the same top 4 points, the same top 8 points. I think Red Boot is a tier 1 deck now. I don't think most people would argue against this. I think some people would be like, no, Red Boot should be a tier 2 deck. It's like only won 1 event, whereas Light Galaxy's won 3 events. But I think it's fine. I think the Royal was more lucky. Yes. But there is something to be said for creating your own luck, right? You build the list in such a way to take advantage of lucky situations. And in those situations, right, they will come up and then you're ready and primed to take advantage of them. So, like, I think it still should get a little bit of recognition. Is it going to make it into the top 3 tiers? No. It's not going to be a top 3 tier deck. But I think it's fine where it is. Red Boot top of tier 2. Sevens and Hero tier 3. I don't think that's how I would sort it out personally. He lost because of a misplace. I don't think it was luck. I think, though, that in order for him to have winning plays with a deck that bad, there has to be some luck involved. Now, I'm not going to say, he just sacked the whole way through the event. But I think if he was just slightly unluckier, he doesn't get close to the top 4 finish. That's kind of how I look at it. So, the question then becomes, what are we doing with Spellcasters? I think Spellcasters is going to be a tier 2 deck, because Spellcasters is significantly worse than Red Boot, like statistically. Statistically, based on the, again, limited information that we have, Spellcaster is 1/3 of the points of Red Boot. So in my opinion, they cannot be in the same tier. Like this is just so much worse performing than Red Boot. We're going to move this down here for now. So I think that is going to be our cutoff. We are going to be moving Spellcasters into tier 2. Then we get Heroes. Heroes is, again, I think it is significantly weaker than casters, at least in terms of performance. I think this is how I would have the top 3 tiers. The question then becomes, do we slap anything next to heroes? You think Duel Links Rush is ready for full power XQT without a yellow button? That is a question. That is a question. Tier 2, but I think it's worse than the Tier 4. Yes. I personally... So, I could quite happily say these are the same tier. I could quite happily. Like, from, like, my own experience and everything. But I am going to leave this in Tier 3 for now. I think I'm quite happy with this in Tier 3. Like, it does not have the same tournament performance as the rest of these decks. It is very high roll as well. A hero is at least as good as Sevens. So I agree with you. I do agree. Again, from my own personal experience, I do think that a hero can get wins in the same way that Sevens can get wins. Sevens and hero about the same, but Sevens is slightly ahead. I'd say even better. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, Red Boot and Light Galaxy are definitely close. Sevens is third. Heroes probably fourth. I think that's the thing. No one's really arguing with that. Like, because people are like, oh, these two are very, very similar. Maybe you change this order. But everyone kind of knows this is the order we're going in, right? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. So, like, now it's just, like, semantics of, is there enough of a gap between these decks to have them in different tiers? Yeah, RB and LG definitely close. So no other deck is tier 3. Sevens have pretty bad matchup spread, to be honest. They get cooked by Galaxy and Heroes also beat them usually. I haven't played enough of some of these matchups to know, like, exactly what is super dominant into what. So I'm not going to, like, speak to that too much. I will say that tier 3 is where stuff starts getting funny, because I think there are decks in tier 3. I think there are decks here, right? Because I think there is a gap. Right, so let's say this was here. High Rogue would not be the same as Rogue, right? So there is going to be a disparity here. Red Boot in tier 2 and Sevens and Hero in tier 3. Well, then you would be wrong in my opinion. I disagree with that, like, fundamentally, personally. But again, it's semantics, right? It comes down to where on a tier do you think they deserve to be? Again, we tend to here use results, right? And statistically, Red Boot and Light Galaxy are fundamentally the same. I don't think there's enough of a gap there. Sevens can sack anything, Hero still needs to get lucky. I think the gap between Sevens and Hero is smaller than Galaxy and Red Boot. Potentially. I mean, potentially. I'm not gonna just, like, say you're wrong. I don't even necessarily disagree with that statement. It's just, it's hard to justify it, I suppose, without, like, more evidence to back up the statement. Because again, I've played these decks against each other. I tend to find that this deck has the slight advantage. Like, I tend to beat spellcasters with heroes. Join Tech tier 3. I mean, again, it's a deck I haven't really tested. I do think it's going to be tier 3 or High Rogue for sure. And obviously we've got other decks we haven't tested yet either. So for me, tier 3 is where we're going to get funky. I think this is a tier 3 deck. Now, is this going to be controversial? So this is, everyone should know, this is Chrysaor with the sword skill. I think this deserves to be here. It can steal wins. It's relatively consistent. We have seen it, like, performing to an extent. Baseball or Sidra? I think Sidra. Bearing in mind, again, we haven't tested it a ton yet. I do think Sidra has potential to be tier 3. I don't know about Baseball. Baseball's a weird deck. Baseball's a very weird deck. I get Cog with Slayer. Yeah, but I got Cog with Baseball, and I still don't think it's a very good deck. Like, I've Cogged with Sea Serpents. Like, let's be honest, guys. Let's get everything out there. Cogging is very easy with any deck. You can Cog with anything. Right? Now, are you going to cog with like a deck full of vanillas that has no coherency, no strategy? Probably not. But can you cog with anything that's like some semblance of a deck? Yeah, you'll be fine. What's cog? King of Games. So it's like the top rank on ladder. Royal Rebels could easily be tier 3. I don't think I agree with that, personally. I think I would put them in top of High Rogue. Like, around here. This is kind of where I feel like Royal Rebels go. But I could see the argument for them being tier 3. I definitely could. I played a shit list missing cards with 30 monsters, 0 spell traps, and COG day 2 with an 11 win streak. That's what I mean. It's a weird one, right? Terrible versus Galaxy, but decent versus other stuff. I get COG with Slayer. Baseball is a rogue. I'm still too new to Duel Links. Rush, lol, sorry. No, that's completely fine, Swagboy. Welcome on in. Yeah, we're just kind of doing our initial tier list. So our tier lists tend to focus more on tournaments. We record all the tournament results, and we make our tier list based on this primarily. So, although a lot of this will translate to ladder, this is primarily going to be like a tournament tier list rather than like a ladder tier list. Rebels kind of cope. Again, Rebels is another like super high roll deck where if your opponent isn't playing around it correctly and you draw really well, you kind of steal wins. Which is why I'm not a big fan of it personally. Where would baseball be at? Baseball's a tricky one because I feel like from my own testing and seeing other people's results, baseball gets absolutely shit on by this deck and this deck. Like, actually just destroyed. And if you lose to, like, both of the best decks in the meta, you're not in a great spot. I also think baseball's not going to have a great time into some of these other decks as well. Like, it can definitely take games off them. Maybe we could leave tier 3 empty. I don't dislike that, but I do think it is worth mentioning that some of the rogue decks are better than some of the other rogue decks. Right? So even if you consider tier 3 as, like, very high rogue, I still think it's worth to have, like, a separate tier. The 4 best decks are basically the entire meta. I think we've seen these decks getting, like, top 16s. I don't know if we should rate top 16 as anything. But I think these decks are a little bit better than these decks, personally. That's why we keep 2 rogue tiers. I mean, yeah. I think realistically we're going to take some of this stuff off. Right? Like, none of this is relevant anymore. Is Gaia even relevant anymore? Is Gaia, in any meaningful way, relevant? Because I don't think it is, right? I think we just take it off. But it feels like Gaia should still be performing a lot better than, like, Cyberse and Santa. But I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. What rank is Hero Vulcan? I have not seen a Hero Vulcan. I have not played a Hero Vulcan. I have no idea if that deck is just straight up meme. It feels like it's probably meme. A top 16 and 25 player tournaments. Yeah. Rank 7 needs 3 overlay materials. He knows the way when Rebel wins Starry Cup today. I will say this, right? So once I finish today's stream, I will be recording the tier list video. If any deck that is not one of these 4 decks wins Starry Cup or Quantum's Cup, I will add an amendum at the end of the video, and I will make sure that that deck is, like, given its proper respect. And if it is specifically Royal Rebels, I will give Whoop a shout out. That's what I'm gonna say. That is my throwing down the gauntlet. That is my challenge. let's see Royal Rebels win a tournament. I'm going to give you 2 shots, 2 different tournaments to do it. What if I win with Royal Rebels? I'll give you both a shout out. Because we'll still get a shout out for getting top 8 with it. Time to join with Joytech. But yeah, that's all I want to see some variety. Something other than these 4 decks winning, I think would be cool. I mean, if Heroes win as well, that'd be really cool. I'd be quite happy with that as well. Can't even play a limit 1. Feels bad. Feels bad. Did anyone saw a single Gaia in the last 30 days? Yes. But it was in a skill-less tournament. So I don't think that counts. Tier 1, you'll see my WCS replay. Matarian is a rogue, Worms and Pyro 2. I don't think Sidra is a tier 3. I haven't tested this yet, so it's really hard for me to actually... I think, for me, it's here as, like, potential, right? Like, this isn't... Like, we haven't finished the tier list yet, right? But, like... I think Sidra has the potential to be a tier 3 deck. I just haven't tested it yet. So I don't... Like, the closest we've seen was what? Who played this? Shelmy? Shelmy played this in Grands and got top 16 with it. I think that's the closest we've got. What if Baseball win? Well, I mean, I'll still make the amendum. Pyro and Rogues is Worm. Pyro and Worms is Rogue. There we go. I think that's fair as well. I think Pyro and Worm could be Rogue. I still think this deck's strong. Like, it's not up here, but I think it is a little bit better than everything down here. Yeah, even Psychic's probably Psychic Bros, as much as I hate to say it. Yeah. Slayer is better than Dragius Fusion in this meta. Maybe. I mean, alright, so let's try and break this down. This deck is able... We'll move it up here for a second, just because we're talking about it, so it's not behind chat. This deck is able to consistently pop back row. You could also use it to get rid of very hyper-specific monsters. So it's not super great into, like, a lot of the field in terms of, like, popping. But the skill is a nice plus. It does have some, like, nice consistency tools. The issue is, it still has a big pile of monsters with 0 defense. Now, Light Galaxy have all but stopped playing Meteor Charge. So that means this deck doesn't get, like, absolutely obliterated by that, like, just for, like, entering the room. Spellcasters still will absolutely shit on this deck, right? Because they'll just summon Charmy, change to defense, attack over 2800 damage, right? And that's not even talking about any of, like, the other new stuff they've got. I think the best I could do with this is, like, here-ish. Right? This is, like, the best it's gonna get. It's not realistically going any higher than here. So whenever it gets lucky, haven't seen anyone play the new Sidra card. Yeah, the main issue is, I don't really think it's necessarily worth playing unless you have 3. And how many people have 3, right? Still the lowest tier of playable decks. Oh, also, hello, Human Portuguese Dub fan. Welcome, welcome. Psychic, maybe a tier 3. I think that might be a little bit cope. I think that to me sounds like cope. Like, I get what you're saying. You gain life points, and then they can't kill you in one turn. But I don't think Psychic are going to be good at killing on the crackback. Like, I think the Psychic thing is if you're able to just open a good hand, and you can just make your boss gain, like, 1800, it's going to be really hard for Red Boot to kill you in, like, a single turn. I think that is the only advantage you get in that matchup. Like, as soon as, like, that first wave hits you, okay, you're not dead, but you're now, like, on way less than half. You're on, like, I don't know, 18 or something. And then it's like, you have one turn to kill them, because you're not out healing the next wave of damage that's coming. They will deck you out, though. What, Psychic will deck you out, or... I assume we're talking about Red Boot decking out Psychic. Because that could be interpreted either way. I'm going to assume that's what we're saying. Slayer have Curse of Light now. I mean, yeah, but every deck has Curse of Light now, right? Even, like Galaxy have been using that. Set up more than 3 cards, they can go Curse and kill you. Only with you do 2 fusions. You don't need to kill Psychics. Psychic gain life. You can out Candy Live, mill, deck them out, and you make 1 Red Boot fusion in set 2. I think Red Boot is actually the worst matchup of the big 4. The other ones might be kind of fine. 7s is also... I don't know about fine. I think that Psychic is not necessarily in like a horrid spot, but I don't think it's like... I don't think it's going to be in a tiered position, realistically. Like, I will maybe give you, like... I don't know, somewhere up here? Like, high rogue is probably the best it's going to get. Psychic did good pre-new box. Yes, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair statement. The main issue Psychic's always going to have is their skill is, like, it's good, but it's not unfair. And their boss monsters are good, but they're not unfair. And a lot of their support tools are good, but they're not unfair. And we're almost at the point where one of their better tools that's kind of been restricted is the Jamp check. But people just don't give a shit about back row at the moment. So even that, even if it was unhit, you'd probably use it more to gain life than to actually pop back row. Versus Galaxy, you can try to deck them out and gain a lot of life points. I don't know if you'll succeed in that. Like, how much decking out potential does Light Galaxy have into Galaxy? Light Galaxy. How does Psychic have into Light Galaxy? Because, like... in my mind, it's just... each player mills a card. If your opponent milled a spell, draw. I forgot what it's called. Performer? Made it in time. Hello, Bankai. Welcome. It's just too slow. Tomato, are you telling me robot dinosaurs are not broken? I mean, we haven't finished this yet. We're still very much in the preliminary stages of working out where everything's going. I think for me, right now, bearing in mind I haven't really done a lot of testing, I'm going to put this around here. Again, we haven't necessarily, like, finished this yet. I don't... Do you even deserve to still be here? I feel like on paper, this deck can do okay into like this, and this, but it's not. But I don't know if that's because no one's playing it. Doesn't Eternal making it so like Galaxy literally never leaves the tier list? So people used to say that about OCG, and it came off, right? It fell off kind of hard. So, not really. Like, I get what you're saying, but power creep's a hell of a thing. It's like it's got 3 start and the mill 1 guy. How does start mill them out? Am I forgetting what start is? Start is just gain 1,000, grab back a low level, right? Shuffle 2 of your monsters back into your deck. Sometimes take damage too early and can't survive to an Eternal. Yes. Well, the other issue is that, like, if... a lot of the time, if you mill them, you're kind of helping them out as well. So it's a bit of a weird one. You can recycle the millers. Yeah, but you can recycle them back in, but then are you going to be able to use them again? Like, are you turbo drawing through your deck enough that you're going to find them and be able to put them down again and mill again and again and again? I don't know. It doesn't feel like you're going to be able to play it like Santa Mill, put it that way. You're just going to have like a couple of mills here and there. Metarian too slow for this format. Erase the clowns. Well, to be honest, the best decks got 3 of the bad types to have versus Metarian. Star is Recycle 2. I think Light Galaxy will receive proper nerfs after Worlds. You can recycle the millers, so I'm going to say no. So you don't deck out. Metarian Pyro Worm is a rogue. If Psychics get to a good grind game versus Galaxy, it usually wins. I just feel like... I feel like the way you get to a grind game against Galaxy is that the Galaxy has, like, hard bricked. Otherwise, you're just not having a grind game. It's a weird... It's a weird dynamic between those two decks. I've been at spot as both Psychics and Galaxy. Right, I think this is coming down here. This is coming down here. I don't even know if Worms deserves to still be on this list, to be honest. Like, I feel like at this point, everything's rogue. Like, Dark Magician's rogue. I really don't like this deck. I mean, it's one of those things, I think, again, you can cog with any of these decks. So, like, down here doesn't necessarily matter. Like, any of these can cog. I would not expect any of these to actually, like, get top 4 at a tournament. That's kind of where I look at it. Free the goat, Santa. No, Serena. No. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Also, hello. But maybe we should put Resonance there too. It's a worse joint tech. I mean, in a lot of ways, how do I look at Resonance? So you're looking at it as joint tech, but worse. That's how you're looking at it, because you have ways to get bodies out relatively easily. You have ways to pop backrow relatively easily. And I see where we're coming at with that argument. I don't know if I think joint tech is my comparison that I would use for it, though. It kind of feels more like... I guess it depends how you build it. Because again, the way that I build this deck is I build it with Secret Order and Volcano Attack Dragon. And that worked out really well. But joint tech is maybe the worst high rogue. Again, I haven't tested it, so I can't really speak to it. Same with Cyber Dragons. I tested this and this, and I feel like these guys should be middle of high rogue. That's kind of how I look at them. Dark Galaxy is another weird one. Like, as in, like, the Fusion Dark Galaxy. Because I feel like this deck should still be, like, fine. Like, I don't think it's good, right? But it should still be fine. Both Struggle versus Set 3. I'd say Joint Tech is the 5th best deck right now. Nah, you're never dethroning Chrysaor. My boy. My man. I don't hate that. The question would then become, like, the big question now is this guy. Is this guy. Is this guy here, or is he here? Is he here, or is he here? I think I'm putting him in one of these spots. The question is, which one? You can sack. You absolutely can sack. And people underestimate the power of sacking. Make a don't play tier for Dragon Fusion and Santa. Now, if we just don't even show Santa, we'll put him down here. Right? He's not even on the screen anymore. But he can't hurt us. I don't think anything else needs to come onto this list, right? Like, Cyberse is, like, gone. Gaia is, like, gone. I mean, I know Quantum really likes Vulcan. But I have not heard any good convincing argument for including Vulcan on this list, so... Noodles? The thing with Noodles is I think the best way to play Noodles is just in this deck. So, because it's a Maddox skill that still plays the Salamander, I think this is just Noodles, right? Like, we could have Honor as a separate deck, but I don't really think there's a need to. Less garbage on the tier list, the better. Well, is there anything on this tier list that shouldn't be on here straight up? Like, does anyone think, like, Metarion just shouldn't be on here. Like, it's not seeing any play. It's not, like, nobody's using it. It's not in any tournaments. It's never seen on ladder. It shouldn't be on it. Like, maybe Worm, maybe Metarion. I think everything else at least has a place where it deserves to be. Put Gaia in the don't playlist. We'll move him out of sight again. We'll put him down there. He can't hurt us if we can't see him. Tomato, hear me out. Vulcan is good if you take away every rogue or above deck. Ooh. So what you're saying is, like, in Cyberse, Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, like Worm, Magnum Overlord, in that meta, that's where it thrives. That's what we're saying. Metarion can't even sack anymore with one gun. I mean, that is a good point. Yeah, to be honest, I can see Metarion or Worm still being able to cog. They can definitely cog, but I think you can cog with anything, though, right? Like, I think there's an argument you could cog with Ice Arc. Like, you could cog with Magnum Overlord. Metarion has a fusion, anti-hero, anti-dragons, and anti-spellcasters. See, that's my thoughts, feeling, and opinion, right? It's good in... Good. It theoretically, on paper, can sometimes be good into these three decks. Where's Innovator? I mean, kind of in here. Like, it's a weird one. I don't know... Because the main way that people are playing Innovator right now is in Cyber Dragon machine piles, with just not using the Cyber Dragon skill. So, like, it's weird to just kind of slap it in. I need to play heroes, and I would say they are tier 3. I mean, heroes are decent, I think. They're not, like, crazy. I've just been having too easy of a time with them. Yeah, best way to play Innovator right now is Lightstar Sighing. Sevens has Magical Knights to counter Metarions. Does that counter, though? If you say, alright, Metarions, I'm not going to make my piercing, changing your wimps to attack mode guy just to counter you, instead I'm going to make, like, Sevens Paladin, does that actually counter the deck? Because I feel like if you're actively not making your best tool for the matchup, then the deck's already done its thing. Machine Good stuff, either too slow or doesn't do enough. If you want to play a machine pile, go to Join Tech or something with Cyber. Yeah, that's basically what we were saying, right? The problem with the hero is skill is the weakest. Yes, I 1000% agree with Luis Fernando there. This is the worst skill probably out of everything in the top 3 tiers. Or just, I think, not even probably. This is just the worst skill of the top 3 tiers. But the cards that this deck got are just powerful enough that it doesn't matter that the skill is bad. Because, like, people will sit here and they'll be like, oh, the skill isn't bad. You only have to play 1 copy of Fusion, or you could play 2 if you want to. You have infinite access to Fusion, so your Fusion's always online. You can reduce your opponent's attack, which is really good for Flame Wingman and Flare Wingman. All of those things are correct. All of those things are correct. The skill still is outdated. It does not plus you. It does not do enough compared to all the other skills. This skill is busted. This skill is busted. This skill is busted. Go back into place. This skill is stronger than this skill. It's still better. Louise and Tomato agreeing. What does the world come to? So the difference, whenever me and Louise disagree, right, it is literally because I am always of the opinion that we should back statements with evidence, right? That I've always, ever since I went to university and college, I have had that beaten into me, right? If you ever make a statement, you support it with evidence. That is just what we do. That is how we work. So I will always take the stance of, I haven't tested it enough. In my experience, this has happened over this. The tournament results show X means Y, right? That's how I always process things. Louise makes very blanket statements based on, like, interpretation, gut feeling, and, like, initial impression. And because of that, I'll always be like, I don't think you're necessarily wrong, I just don't agree with what you're saying, right? So that's all it is. It's just literally a difference in ideology. A lot of the time, Luis Fernando ends up being correct about things, and sometimes that's just because, you know, had a lot of insight into it. Sometimes it'll just be like, it just ended up like that, right? But that's all that is. Machine good stuff is either 2 stars, isn't it? If you want to play machine. The problem with Hero is that the skill is the weakest. They need to get the spell to beat it. Hero, it has better card quality than an outdated yellow button. It basically, I mean, that's fundamentally what it comes down to. Hero's got supports from last year. Hero was like Dark Galaxy. It was the deck and not the skill. Yeah. Off topic, but you're going to play Silk Song when it comes out. So, alright. Slightly off topic. I started playing Hollow Knight. I played it for about 3 hours. Really enjoyed it. And then the next day I went to play it, and my controller didn't register. So I just never finished it. And I tried to go back and make the controller work, and it just wasn't having any of it. It was a problem with, like, the software on Steam's end. But I need to just, like, it's something I could fix, but I need to, like, uninstall the game, reinstall the game, make sure the drivers are up to date, etc. It's a very solvable problem. But because there was a slight road bump, I just never finished it. So I do want to play it, but I need to do a complete playthrough of Hollow Knight first. Everyone has their own opinion. Exactly. What did you study at college? Law? So at college, I did software development and software engineering is what I did at college. For evidence, shows physics is best deck. Psychics, not physics. Psychics is best deck, move to tier 1. Also, I swear, ban Clayman. Attack with level 4 into face down feels so bad now. Yeah, just don't do it. Just don't do it. That's the trick. That's really the trick. Maybe Rush doesn't have a tier 3. I think that is a fair statement as well. I think Rush, you could have this down here, and I would be, yep, that's fine. You could have this up here, and I'll be like, yep, that's fine. I think I like this here, but again, it's just personal preference. It's just personal preference at this point. I got to buy the Cursed Spell from Selection Box. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those cards that I think is really, really, really strong if your opponent doesn't play around it. But if your opponent plays around it, suddenly it's not very good, and it can be a bit of a liability. I think on ladder right now, people just aren't really playing around it. If they do, they do it accidentally. So you can just kind of play it at 3 in ladder, it doesn't really matter. But when it comes to like tournament games, I think people are getting a bit more savvy with it. That's a tragedy. We are in doubt about which is the 5th deck. I mean, I'm quite happy to have this as the 5th deck. I don't. I'm quite content with that. I would say Heroes tier 3 with Base Sail Turbo. So we had it in tier 3 for a bit, and then we moved it into tier 2. And again, if I was following only the statistics, right, I would have Hero a tier below Spellcasters, right? Because fundamentally, 4.5% is a lot lower than 13.6%. That, to me, the evidence suggests that. At the same time, you recognize that the sample size is very small. So the evidence is not going to be all-inclusive and all-encompassing, right? Beatdown easily, true. I mean, Beatdown hasn't even been on the tier list in so long. Curse of Rising Toxicity, as I like to say. This selection box is a must for Curse. Potentially, though, I think if we had a GRF, I think there would be so many people playing so many games against so many other really strong players, all in a small space of time, that Curse might even fall out of the meta. Like, it's one of those weird situations where the card is so good when it works. and so unbelievably mid when it doesn't work. So like, nah. I mean, to be fair, I can't really argue with Giorfio on the point because Giorfio probably has the most experience out of every single person in this chat when it comes to playing in GRFs, KC Cups, WCQs. I mean, how many people in the world can say they have gone to Worlds more than twice? How many people can say that? I mean, Giorfio, I don't think can say that yet, but he's going to Worlds, right? Hello, Soramia. Welcome on in. I think people in GRF are kind of overrated. I mean, like, statistically, the top, let's say 100, let's just use top 100 as, like, a big, chunky sample size. Top 100 GRF are there because they have decent win rates and they've played a lot. So fundamentally, even if they're quote-unquote overrated, they should still be some of the better players, right? Even if we're not saying they're, like, cream of the crop, they're not, like, Worlds candidates or whatever. Just by process of there is a ladder system that they've had to climb through, they should be better than average, right? Well, there should be one more box before it probably has the 5th deck. Probably. Or just have infinite hours of free time. So, I do think that free time is a big factor, right? It's an absolutely big factor. But, as some players like to point out, they are able to get, like, top 100 without playing a ridiculous amount of time. And I think that's also fair. Because if your win rate is substantially, just ridiculously good... Oh, here's an ad break. Then, yeah, you can not have to play a shit ton of games. And I think some people do take advantage of that. A lot of people don't, right? But we are an ad break, so we are going to vibe for a bit, so that people that are been attacked by the evil Twitch ads don't have to miss out. So I'm going to take a second to hydrate. Everyone should hydrate. Delicious. I think all of my ice is no longer ice. So it is still very warm here. And I have my thermos here, which we put some ice in and some like chilled water, and then that usually lasts for about 2.5 hours. We didn't put as much ice in today, and I think all my ice is melted, but it's still cold. Right, we've got another 30 seconds. You know what? We're going to go in for the double. We're going in for the dub. Delicious. Delicious, delicious water. Imagine not injecting caffeine. I could not drink warm coffee on this day. Also, I don't really drink, like, fizzy drinks. I hate energy drinks. I don't really like the taste of energy drinks. I don't like the way energy drinks, like, make my body feel. I'm not an energy drink person by any means. But the ads have gone, so we can now continue. We can continue the yap. Infinite hours of free time. Not like you playing versus ladder players, but a lot of them are pretty much the same as tournament players. The thing is, tournament players are still just players, right? It's one of those things where, like, if you don't consider tournament players good, and you don't consider ladder players, well, ladder players is a whole different ballgame, because there's, like, barely any MMR there, right? But if you don't consider tournament players good, you don't consider, like, top, I don't know, 100, or let's say top 10, like, GRF players good. Like, where do we draw the line? Is it like, if you're not at Worlds, you're not good? Is that where we draw it? If you're not playing against exactly like a Worlds competitor? Because there has to be a line somewhere, right? Top 100 players with more free time and coffee. I think, though, there is a degree of that. There is a degree of having more time, being able to play more hours. I do think there is a level of that. At the same time, you still have to be winning, right? You still have to win a lot of games. You still have to have a positive win rate. So, like, even if we can say having more time gives you an advantage, I think realistically, the players that are going to go to Worlds are always going to be the same players that go to Worlds because they are consistently good, they're consistently performing, and they consistently have a lot of free time, right? I think that's just how it be. That's just how it be. Forget the monster. Imagine not injecting caffeine fraudulently. The problem with tier 3 is that there is no deck that comes close to the top 4. I think that's fair. At the same time, I do think any of these decks, so anything in Rogue, High Rogue, and tier 3, can beat the top 4 decks. It's just, if you had them play 100 games back to back to back, how many would they win? And I think that's where it comes down to. They can beat those decks because Rush has enough variance in it that you can just sack them. It's like, how often are you going to sack them? And I think that's where like the difference in these tiers comes in for me. Get a vial and eject. No. What I mean is that you won't face people who play perfect. Oh, yeah, 100%. I think, though, you're leaving... No matter where you play or who you play, I think people are always going to make mistakes, right? That's just human nature. No tier 4, the 4 decks in this meta. Well, you've really got to be careful with how you say that, by the way. So it's hard that Curse ends up being bad. You won't throw it in every deck for sure. Nah, just put it in every deck, every single deck. Just 3 copies, YOLO. I mean, most likely if you play around Curse, you have to limit your own plays, which allows the opponent to have more advantage. I think what you're saying makes sense, because it's something that I've said in the past as well. However, if you let Curse resolve in a high-stakes situation, you're, like, almost certainly just dead, right? Like, the decks in the meta right now, they're so fast, they're so powerful. It will even give a deck like Spellcasters that typically doesn't OTK a chance to OTK you. So, like, it's a really weird card where I think you almost have to play around it, because if you don't, you could just die. Like, you're just out. And that feels really bad. So it's a card that demands respect. It's just giving it respect sucks, right? I think you almost, in a lot of ways, have to play around it, even though playing around it oftentimes is wrong. But like, it's like, how terrible was Sidra? We have not even started playing Sidra yet, Bird. People just want to talk. People just want me to talk. That's just what we do. We just yap here. Occasionally, you might look at a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I mean, most likely, if you play around Curse... Oh, yeah, we already spoke about that. Yeah. If Konami hadn't killed Dark Galaxy, Rush would have had 5 decks. So my opinion hasn't really changed on that. Dark Galaxy is toxic as fuck, bro. Just kidding. The way it was playing was so lame. Where, like, you'd queue into it, and you would just be like, alright, let's spin the wheel! Do I just lose and have nothing I can do about it? Or are we playing Yu-Gi-Oh? And then it would, like, just land on, yep, your opponent opened full combo, and you're like, well, I tried. I came in, we tried to see what would happen. Today wasn't my day. Go next. So, like, I'm really not a fan of this Dark Galaxy. I think it needed the hit. I think my issue comes in the fact that the other decks weren't hit hard enough. Like, I think everyone can agree Light Galaxy should have got a bigger hit, right? Are we talking about Curse? Yes, we're talking about Curse. Yapping stream, always a yapping stream. Which are nice streams, to be fair. Also, hey Tomato, how's it going? Today is pretty good. So, 2 days ago, when we didn't have a camera, it was so unbelievably hot, right? Even with the camera off, I had like ice drinks. Obviously, we got the window open. We got like as much airflow as we can. We had the fan on maximum. It was so unbelievably warm. And I hated it. I hate being warm. I don't like sweating in general. Like, if I'm working out and sweating, that's fine, right? We know what we're getting in for. It's a controlled environment. We're hunky-dory with that. We're going to go shower afterwards. That's fine. I hate sweating because it's hot. Because I just feel dirty. I feel gross. I just don't like it, like, at all. So I really... It's one of my, like, my pet peeves. Just really not a fan. But now, today, it's still warm. This is so manageable. It's pleasantly warm, right? I don't have to wear, like, a thin shirt. I've got, like, a nice thick top on. We got the Finding Emo top on. There you go. There's the Disney swag. We got, you know, the fan on 1. Like, it is comfortable right now. And as such, I'm in quite a good mood. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. But how are you doing, Bird? How are you doing? It's different from last year because the Worm box didn't bring anything to meta. Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. I think that is a fair statement. It's funny that we have 2 decks from the last meta and 2 decks from the meta before that. Yes, 100%. 100%. Alright, that was the reason for PNG Meta? Yes, because I just could not be on camera that day, bro. Could not be on camera that day. So we agree that this list is worse than Gaia. But again, I don't... Apart from the fact that I can never really tell if Louise is like... If he's baiting or not, it's really hard sometimes to tell. Fundamentally, it comes down to a difference in ideology, right? It's... Did the list create a better or a worse meta? And then it comes down to personal preference and whether or not you like or dislike a meta, right? I think the biggest annoyance that I had with the Gaia list is we went from a 1-deck meta, which was like probably the worst case scenario, to a 1-deck meta, which is still the worst case scenario. So we ended that list with 1 deck. And it's like, that's awful. Whereas we went from a 3-deck meta to a 2-deck meta, which means the number of decks decreased, but we're still in a higher than 1-deck meta, right? So it's like, it literally comes down to ideology. Like, how do you look at it? How do you perceive it? That's entirely what it comes down to. It is more than 1 deck. I mean, we're on like 4 decks right now. I think comfortably people agree we're in like a 4-deck meta. I think some people would make an argument we're in a 3-deck meta still, but who even knows? I think some people will cope and be like, this is a 5-deck meta, but... It's been almost 2 hours with no Sidra gameplay. Is this your first time here, Toti? Is this your first time here? Not to mention, we have so much to do with Sidra. Plus, we don't have to rush Sidra because we're not going to be releasing the Sidra video yet, right? Tomorrow's video is going to be tier list, so I don't have to like rush through and get replays immediately. I'm not too bothered by that. We have Happy Chatty Tomato, just nearly done with my lunch break, then it'll be back to work. Well, I hope your work day goes well for you, Bird. Hope you're having a good day. I hope it's not too warm where you are, because it should be warmer where you are than where I am. So, you know, make sure you take care of yourself. When Rush Rivals video? So, Rush Rivals gets worked on when we are not making videos for current content, right? So, because we had new product drop, that means we focus on that. Once we get through all of those videos, then we go back to getting the regular content out, which is like character draft. Then once all of that is up to date, that is when we do extra videos. And that is where Rush Rivals, that is where History of Rush Duels comes in. That is where, you know, opinion pieces. That is when speculation about new boxes. They're the extra videos. Should finish in like 2 hours probably. I mean, that's good. I think the Gaia stopped being tier 0, but the format was still worse because Gaia had no competition. Wait. So you're saying we went from a 1-deck format to a 1-deck format, but because the 1-deck in the 1-deck format got a slap on the wrist, it was fine. Is that the argument we're using? Because, I mean, I can't like say you're wrong because it's completely subjective, right? So I can't, but I can say I disagree. I can absolutely say that. It was a late lunch break. This is where Tomato's Worlds videos come out with the secret Paco interview. The problem with doing any sort of interview is always going to be people are going to have varying different qualities of like microphone, varying different qualities of background noise, very different qualities of camera, if they even have access to cameras. A lot of people just have a phone, which, depending if they have like a really, really nice phone, can like do everything. But on top of that, like putting someone on the spot can be a bit like awkward. Like if a world's competitor, like I don't think they would, but if a world's competitor approached me and was like, do you want to do an interview? I'd be like, yeah, because you've come to me. You want to be showcased, you're happy to do that. I feel weird about asking people myself to do that sort of thing, because I feel like it puts them on the spot, and I don't want them to say yes because they want to make me happy. I want them to say yes because they want to do it. Do you know what I mean? That's where I'm at. In this list now, Tier 1 continued to be Tier 1, but they killed Tier 2, and that changed something. If this list, I just feel like they killed Tier 2. But I understand your point. Yeah, I mean, it's literally just difference in opinion, right? Okay, Tomato, I might ask you. I mean, if you want to do an interview, Paco, I'm always down for an interview. It could be fun. Well, now you just need an in-person interview in Paris. The thing is, the way I kind of looked at it was, so first off, I would have had to get my, because I haven't left the country now in a very long time. The last time I left the country was when I went to Germany, and that would have been about 10 years ago. So I haven't like left the country in a very long time. That being said, if I wanted to leave the country, actually it's longer than 10 years ago now, I would have to renew my passport, which is a long, arduous process that also is going to cost me some money. Then obviously I'd have to find a hotel to book, work out the travel. If I wanted to travel on the cheap, it's doable, but it's an entire day of travel. So realistically, it would be get a plane, which is not the end of the world. Getting a plane's, it's affordable. Like, it's not a ridiculous amount of money. But the problem is when it all adds up, right? Suddenly it's like travel, flight, hotel, food, entry, passport. It just like all suddenly adds up. So fundamentally, it becomes a holiday, right? It becomes I can't make any of this money back. I'm not going to make any money back from this trip. So it's just a holiday, which is fine. But then I'd have to do that instead of anything else for a holiday. Also, it's 32 degrees outside in the shadow. We'll get an interview then. Yeah, if you want to do an in-person interview on my behalf, by all means, I'll upload it to my channel. When are we going to gameplay? What gameplay? What are you talking about? There is no gameplay here. I mean, saying that, I think this is fine, right? I don't think anything else needs to change on this. I think this looks fine. This looks hunky-dory. Nothing's like glaringly out of place. There's nothing that we've missed out. I think, again, we could take these off and it would be fine. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, I think this is fine. I think we're fine with this. This looks great. Hello, JD Scrub. I mean, this looks like how I think the meta is at the very least. I think that's the takeaway here. Wow. Oh, we were also playing a game. Apparently that's how we left this off. Goddamn Dragon Mill deck gives me a heart attack every time. Yeah, it's not great. I don't really like it, personally. I'm not the biggest fan of it, let's put it that way. Alright, let's hop in. Let's do a game. Let's see what happens. First game with Cyber. I don't even know which version of the deck we're on. We built like 3. Okay, we're playing against Yuka. So this is going to be Sidra or Hero. And they're on a rank up. In theory, there should be one more box. You should probably clarify the format. What? What do you mean? We haven't mentioned worlds at all. I mean, I can just draw a card. I mean, is it even... I think we... This is such, like, a weird situation where I'm like, do I use the skill to get the +1 now, even though it's not really going to do anything for me? I'm also going first, which is also a really weird situation. Right, let's do this. We'll do this and see what happens. Oh no, the Cope one. The box will bring the 5 deck. Yeah, this is the fusion draw one. We have like so much like milling potential here, and like we have so much like gas with nothing to go with it. Okay, so he's going to go into this, and then he has to make the decision whether he makes Flame Wingman or if he makes Burst Wingman. Burst Wingman just wants to pop the back row, which is like fine. Flame Wingman if he wants to set up. Okay, we're just going to go for this, which means we're not taking any damage. I mean, we wouldn't have taken a lot of damage if he'd gone for the other one anyway, but... Ah, my fusion. So bro probably thinks we're playing Metarian right now. Probably still thinks we're playing Metarian. Now he knows we're not playing Metarian. So we could just set again, or we could go digging. Those are the options that befall us. Realistically, these aren't doing much for me. So we're probably going to go digging. We'll do 1. We'll do 2. I don't even really want Curse. That didn't really get us anywhere. But we can now tribute over this. Does it even matter? I don't think we go, like, ham. The question is, do we use Cyber Dragon to attack over the 2000 guy? I don't even think we need to. I think we'll tribute Set. That way we just protect our life points a bit. Maybe it's good to find out he's got a trap card though. Because he can just make room anyway. Although right now it's hard for him to get a fusion summon off. So I think we just do this. If I set this, he just pops it, but I don't think I care. So I think we just set it anyway. What high levels are we playing? We are playing Mirror Innovator as basically it. So the idea is we just want a turbo fusion summon. Now, that hasn't happened so far because our fusion got popped. Really, we want to be going second. I mean, that's kind of obvious, right? We're playing Essel, we're playing thingy. What we might end up having to do is putting more tribute monsters in. The problem is, Cyber Dragon and Cyber Processor can come out very easily. But sometimes you'll open a hand going first of just like nothing but tribute monsters and not be able to play the game. That's the issue. Okay, so if he uses the skill, you playing back removal? Nope. We're just full YOLO. Is this better with Lightstar Sign and just YOLO? The problem Lightstar Sign has is it can also just have like its own little problems that crop up. Alright, let's go Essel. Activate Essel. There's more Cyber Dragons into the graveyard. We'll flip up Reactor. Activate Reactor. Hey! Back in the deck with you. Where are the fusions at? We have 2 more in the deck. Tribute 2. Summon this. I mean, do we put the 3rd back in? Having 1 Cyber Dragon in rotation is decent. I think realistically, we're just going to kind of chill. It comes down to, are we going to summon out Processor? I think we might. Because we've already got these 2, right? So I don't think we need this. Right, let's try and attack this. Okay, no back row to stop us. Mill reincarnation? Exactly, it's just the way we do. Are you in due? They want the rush to evolve quickly the way it is. I'm feeling a huge power creep. I mean, basically, right? We know we've had a huge power creep for a while, right? What with you and back row removal lately, you barely play any. That's because back row removal it's not worth the deck slots. That's the issue. Like, if your deck naturally deals with back row, then you're hunky-dory, right? You don't play it anyway. But, like, a lot of other decks, you kind of put your opponent on gotta have it. Most people aren't playing things like Slime, so you don't have to care about it. You got so many mills with 3 fusion and no skill to get it. Yeah. I mean, we knew going in that every single way to play Cyber Dragons has a massive drawback, right? So if you play the Cybernetic combat customization, you get messed up because you don't have you don't have Mirror Innovator, you have no way to plus, right? If you play this one, you have no way to easily access fusion. If you play the other one, Light Star Sign, you get messed up because you can't you can only fusion someone once, which is also really bad. Ah, Talismanic Seal Array as well. I mean, we're like Giga Dead, right? Like, obviously this reduces his attack, but I still think we're Giga Dead. Because we're now going to take 3,000. Oh, and then 24. Are we actually living? That's pretty funny. We prefer to put engine than back removal in this matter. I mean, basically, right? I think that's why if your deck can just naturally get rid of back removal, like heroes and like Galaxy, you just find yourself in a much stronger position. But look, guys, we're alive! Haha, take 600. Now, the problem is, he's 13 cards left in his deck, so he's probably got trap cards now. Guys, I think we're dead. Where the fusion's at? Where are you, fusion? Watching go Tantalum? I don't think he needs it, mate. Alright, alright, alright. We'll activate the effect of Cyber Processor. We'll send this. I'll bring back Cyber Dragon. Then, I'm going to special summon Cyber Processor. I'm going to activate the effect. I'm going to send Cyber Processor to the graveyard. Then, I'm going to special summon Cyber Processor. I'm going to activate Cyber Processor's effect. I'm going to send Cyber Dragon to the graveyard. And I'm going to bring back Cyber Dragon. Then, I'm going to go ahead and tribute for 1 less. I'm going to tribute Cyber Dragon. And I'm going to set Cyber Dragon. Alright, how does he outplay that? There's no way he can outplay this. If you go into Nova, you can easily make Infinity here. Just imagine. Just any rank 5 is so powerful in this with this board, but we just couldn't do anything with it. Alright, not gonna lie. Not a great showing for the first game. Right, could have been better. Could have been better. The problem with Sidra in physical is now in Duel Links, the deck does not recycle fusion. What? How is that a problem in physical? What are we talking about? In physical, you don't even play fusion anymore. You just play Cyber Rush fusion. I don't think there's ever been a problem for the physical game. Alright, let's see what... Let's go get game 2. Game 2. We've got this. We'll just draw a better hand this time. Okay? Easy. Easy peasy. We're going first again. Again, not really what we're after. I kind of want to use Dealer. Let's go for it. Let's go dealer. Right, we'll activate dealer. I am just going to send these 3 to the graveyard. Because I contribute over dealer with this. I mean... We'll tribute set. We'll set. And I'll set. I'm going to hold this in the hand. We'll pass on this. All right, let's see what bro's got. We'll find a fusion. We'll actually have a skill. That's what's going to happen. Okay, okay. Is this Sparkman pass? Okay, it's Sparkman pass. Maybe it's time to remove Sidra from my rogue. I mean, maybe. We still don't have a fusion play, which is a little bit sad. But we can kind of do stuff now, right? How do we want to start this? I guess we'll start with Reactor. We'll summon Reactor. He has a delay. There was a delay. We all saw the delay. So he has to have... Alright, here we go. Here we go. Right, you ready for this? We're going to tribute 1. We're going to tribute 2. Alright. He didn't use it. Bold. Bold. Now, what do we want to do here? So we know that he's got... What else? It has to be Compulse, right? It just has to be Compulse. We've already got 1 in rotation, so I don't need you. We'll keep 1 in the graveyard. Right, let's go get him, Cyber Dragon. Alright. Not too bad. Will you watch my replay? We'll watch your replay after this, Louis. We'll watch your carefully crafted 1 in 100 game where you pop off and get to absolutely blow everyone up. Why would you use Poly, though? In what world is Poly a good card to use? Other than, like, you have just a 4th copy of Fusion. Because the main benefit you get with Poly is, 1, that you get to make a 3rd boss, like a 3rd Fusion monster usually, in, like, the last slot. And 2, that you can use high-level monsters. But Cyber Dragon comes out basically for free. So does Processor and Proto. So you don't gain any advantage from the first, or from the second point. And the first point, you're also not going to get much either. Whereas, by playing Imaginary, you get Pot of Greed. Well, you get better than Pot of Greed. Ask Tomato for an interview. Everyone just wants interviews now. There you go. Nice and easy win. Nice and easy win. A 4 fusion in the deck. I use Imaginary too. Right, we'll go and look at Louise's replays. Really desperate to show us his replays. So we'll go and watch his replay. Are you friends already? That's the next question. I have 2 different accounts and I lose track of who I'm friends with. It's going to be up here, right? Do we have the boy, the man, the myth, the legend? It doesn't look like it. You make me type your ID in? Bruh. Right, who hasn't played in a long ass time? Why is we played against Carly Fan like 2 days ago. Why is Carly Fan like has no time on it? Right, you're gone. 30 plus days? Be gone. 30 plus days? Out you go. 30 plus days? You've quit the game, so I quit you. Is there anything else? Anyone else that we can clean up some space while we've got time? Nope. Renemy. I don't know if I can get rid of Renemy. Renemy's been on our friends list forever. Alright. Let's go. 4, 3, 3, 6, 151 072. Perfection. That doesn't say Luis Fernando. Well, now I have to wait for him to accept. Oh, no, we don't. No, it is on my friend request. Bias. Renemy is a Mimi fan, so I can't. Exactly. We can't hurt the Mimi fans. They're precious. Tydra's back on High Rogue. Exactly. Alright. Has the friend list been accepted? This still hasn't been accepted. Come on, the whole stream's waiting now. Alright. Now. None of this looks like Cyber Dragons. Oh, this one. It's got to be this one. Alright. Let's see. Achilles versus Beast King. Yuo Goha versus Maddox Sogetsu. So presumably this is going to be Pyro, so a deck that doesn't really do well into setting monsters. Let's see what happens. Okay. We got the old set 3, very similar to what we just did in our game. We're going to see Chromatographicus come down, Fatal Roar, so we're not on Experimentation, so he is playing a worse skill. Activates Fiery Blaze to pop the back row, does destroy the Barrage of Steel. We're going to go into the Salamander, and then we're going to randomly just summon out... I kind of get it, because it's like potentially 2500 damage if it works, but it's so risky. Fusion Deal comes down. Monster Reincarnation, puts that back into the hand. So this is basically our list. That's what we're seeing right now. This is back row hate, but this is basically the list that we're playing. So the difference here is that you've managed to draw Fusion. That is the fundamental difference between this and ours. There's nothing to take away from that. The difference is just you drew Fusion. I mean, yeah. I mean, I can't fault it. If you draw the cards, you can play the cards. Because we haven't actually done a Cyber Dragon Fusion yet. We're 2 games in. We're 1 win, 1 loss, and we have yet to actually fuse a Cyber Dragon. The deck works with the chosen ones. See, I thought you were going to show us something like that we didn't know, right? You were going to show us something like, oh, you know, this version of the deck does a lot better because of this and this and this. It was just the same deck, but you just drew Poly, or you drew Fusion. Alright. Let's go. Let's see what Scar's got for us from Indonesia. I'm too poor to get Vinery. When I get my hand on that guy, I'm putting it into my farm deck. Yeah, he's a cool card. Just generally, just... Oh, Christ. Right, can we beat the best deck in the room? Can we do it? Only 6 cards an extra. I don't know if that's really telling of anything at all, but we're also going first again. Let me go first. Well, let me go second even. I'm already going first. Right now, we have no reason to not use the skill. The only downside is if we draw, like, a tribute monster, right? Anything else is fine. I need to just keep my mouth shut. Okay. We're gonna go Dealer. We're gonna activate Dealer. We're gonna force ourselves to find something. I mean, we have the imaginary actor now. Do we use actor here? There's no way. There's no way actor is the correct play here. It's gonna be like... set tribute. Do we even want to tribute? I mean, we can't leave this on the board, so he's getting tributed. Fuck it. Let's go! Give me this back. Alright, now what are we doing? I could put those back into the deck. That's probably worth doing. I would really like these back in my deck. I don't really care about you. You can stay. But I want those two back. And we've shuffled, so our monster incarnation is no longer on the bottom. The fairy help? Essel? Why would we need Essel? What have you drawn that this is the best you can come up with against this? I mean, we got 2 fusions. We can do stuff here. I could even use Dealer here. Is there a reason to Dealer? The only reason to Dealer? There's no reason to Dealer, right? Because we can't get a third big guy on the board without, like, Poly or a way to use 2 tributes. So I don't think there's a reason to Dealer. The reason to Dealer is, like, to dig for more spell traps. Which we don't really need to do. Right, we'll tribute this out and see if there's a delay. No delay. Okay. Tribute this out the way. Summon this. Activate the effect. Send this. Bring back this. Activate fusion. I think I'm quite happy with this. Just going and getting this guy out. So I could use that to get specifically a 25. That's probably worth, because it's better than just like leaving a processor on the board. The only issue is it means the number of back row I've got is a lot lower. Screw it. We'll summon this out. Activate his effect. Pop that back. Alright. That was alright. Unironically, if we had polymerization... Actually, could we have done anything with... Yeah, we could have. If we had poly, we actually could have made another Cyber Twin, though. Alright, I mean, we could just die here, but there's, like, nothing we can do about it, so... Ah! I need fusion! I only have one left in my deck! Galactica Fusion Draw! See, this is the issue, is I got this shit stuck in my hand. That's now a scary card, but I have no back row hate, so it doesn't... Okay. Well, we have no way to get, like, a high level on the board, so that doesn't really matter. Setting this also doesn't increase the number of cards we draw, so I don't really see a point in using it. We'll pop this back in. Okay, there's nothing we can do about that, so that's fine. If we could have got a level 9 out, we would have gone for it, but... How has the Sydracope been? The Sydracope has been... fine? We beat the best deck in the game, guys! All it took was him, for some reason, finding a way to brick like 4 turns in a row. That's all it takes, ladies and gentlemen. The main issue I'm having is I can't use any of these as replays. We literally cannot use these as replays. Like, what did that game show? It showed if Light Galaxy draws like shit, they don't do anything. That's the only thing that showed. Why didn't you attack for game? Well, we couldn't. He had slime. How did he brick this badly? Like, this isn't a very good list, right? But you still shouldn't be bricking that badly. Hey, Jasmine, welcome on in. We're still on High Rogue. We just beat Light Galaxy. We climb up to tier 3. So I'm always right. The coolers use Poly. I mean, we wouldn't have also got the +2 though, so we wouldn't have had like the turn 1 innovator attack position. Not exactly the best play. Check his list. Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Tier 3 easy. We're at tier 1 now. He brick on traps, I think. Probably. Actually, probably bricked on traps. No Eve, no Shin, and Oblivion. Well, we know he has an Eve, because we attacked over it for piercing, so he's got 2 Eve. No Legend Trap. No Legend Trap might be... No. There's no reason to not have a Legend Trap in here, right? Like, my first thought was, like, he might be free to play. But this very much does not look very free to play. Like, this is a bundle. You know, these are a box you are. I mean, either way. Either way. Let's queue again. Let's go again. Let's go again. Yeah, I don't know how we could have played around... The only way I think we possibly play around Slime is make a Cyber End. Which is, like, realistically not happening, right? People just refuse to play Wide. Widespread's good, though. Like, it's actually good into just... It's good into not Light Galaxy. And it's, like, maybe a bit worse into Hero. But, like, everything else is still fine. 2 Eterno, but no 7th Fusion. Yeah, very strange. Very strange. Win and you'll gain a rank! No, we've also, by the way, we played against... What? Hero, Light Galaxy. We're going first again, by the way. What do I do with this? Like, the real question is, are we tribute setting this? That is what the real question is. I think I do. As much as, like, I don't really want to. I think not doing that is very awkward. So he might see that we're playing UO, we're using a UO skill, and that we have an imaginary reactor in graveyard, and he might think, okay, he's set Snake Clown. Okay, so far so good. Still no fusion, but that's fine. So we're going to flip one up. We can use this as well. We already have that, so I just send those 3. Draw 3, see what we get. Because we're going to tribute off anyway. So we'll go Dealer. Activate Dealer. We'll go 1, 2, 3. That doesn't change a lot here. Tribute 1, Tribute 2, summon out the Mirror Innovator. Keeping one of those in the graveyard is fine. Activating that doesn't do a lot for me. We don't have a regular Sidra, so we can't make like a really nice board. We don't really want to overextend, but... So I could just leave this in hand. Flip one of these up with this, if I wanted to. I could also use that, get an extra body back, just have all 3 bodies. That makes it a little bit risky. So it comes down to, like, how risky do we want to be? I think I'm good to play this slow. Right, we're happy to play it slow. Then again, getting him off of a back row is probably going to be really good. The issue is, again, no matter how I do this, it creates a bit of an awkward situation. Alright, we're going to go Cyber Entry here. We'll grab this out. We are going to go ahead and tribute both of these off. We'll get this out. I'm just going to set this. We'll activate the effect of Mirror Innovator. We'll put that back. Activate his effect. We'll put that back. Then we'll just swing over. Okay, so what's it going to be? Is it going to be widespread specifically? Okay, that's fine. Because we got rid of the widespread is what that means, which is not awful. Double piercing innovator. The problem with the double piercing is it means we have no guaranteed follow-up for next turn. So what we could have done is just had the one guy in attack position, two guys face down defense. Then we attack in. If we feel a delay, it gives us more information. And then we can try and play around more stuff when we get the fusion access. Okay. So I assume he's going to make Flame Wingman, reduce our attack and attack over it. But he could make Burst and then Flame if he wants to. Because he does this, pops the back row, activates the skill, sends the monster to the graveyard if it's not an Avian or a Burstinatrix. Gets everything he needs, basically. Which puts us in, like, a really bad spot. Wheeler Dealer, Overlord movie song. You should hear it. I mean, I've watched the Overlord movie. I went to the cinema to watch it, so I like really liked it. I just don't play any. I don't want to say like copywritten music. I don't use non-video game music typically because there is a much higher chance that you get like copyright struck, and I don't want to have like my VODs taken down, which is why we have a very specific playlist. Is Curse the Rising Light a staple card? Yes, in that it's very generic and a lot of decks can just play it willy-nilly. But it is not like a mandatory, you must use this in every single deck. Oh, okay. So now he makes Flame Wingman, but now he can't make Shining Flare Wingman. So we get hit by that, take 300, then take 24, so that's 27. Attacks over our defense with the 2000, and then we take 31. So, unfortunately, we are dead. I mean, there's nothing we could have done about that, unfortunately. The only way to survive there was... I mean, technically we would have survived if we just didn't summon, or if we didn't go for double Innovator. But, like, the safest way was just not attacking. But not attacking is not going to work for this deck, so we don't have any back row hate. A lot of streamers use a thing where you can play music, but it doesn't appear on the VOD. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not worrying with that. The Mask Zoo. Okay, is this going to be another hero player, or is this... Yeah, it's another hero player, okay. We're going second, and we've opened none of our going second cards. I think this game might just hate us, you know. I think just whenever it's like an RNG aspect of the game, it's just like, you know what? How about you don't do what you want to do? It's fine, we'll be fine. We'll draw 3 with Dealer, and then we'll just find everything we need. See, this is where it gets awkward, because we have like a lot of tools. Right, we'll go for our fusion deal. We'll slap this down. Okay. So I'll go ahead and drop Dealer. We'll activate Dealer. We're going to send you, you, and you. Why have we just finding all of our Mirror Innovators? We're also 9 cards deep and have still not found a Curse of the Rising Light when we're finally going second. This makes me very sad. Alright, Proto. Processor. I could just make a Cyber End, which is just really funny. I could Tribute 2 for that. Use that. That doesn't really do anything. Tell you what, let's go for the funny play. Because, like, keeping both of these in my hand is obviously not a good play, but how often do you get to make a Cyber End? I don't want to make a Cyber Rush and then go into that. That's boring. This is the fun play. Go get him, champ! Alright, now we just need him to not make a Shining Flare. We need him to not make 2 copies of Burst Wingman. Okay. I mean, those 2 don't make anything, so I'm fine with this so far. Only 2k damage, sad. Yeah, it's not the greatest, is it? But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. His back row, by the way, could also still be slime. Okay, here's the boy. So he could use a fusion from hand, or does he have to use the skill? Sure is taking his time. Sets a back row, activates the skill. Are we sending that back row that we set then? What? What are we doing with Clayman? So we're going to fuse off Clayman? So it has to be... But if we were going to fuse off Clayman, why wouldn't we just make Shining Flare? I'm very perplexed as to what the line is here. Tantalum into Miracle. Right. Okay. Okay. So that can now just clear that. This is like the weirdest line to get to this of all time. I mean, our hand is now a massive brick, so we're probably not going to be doing too well after this, but we'll see. We'll see what we get. Especially when he's got 3 fresh back row. That's horrifying. Well, all we can do is get our +2 off of Reactor. No delay on that. That's at least something. Pop that back. Christ. Oh. Okay. Summon. Tribute. No delay. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing at this point, though. Activate Mirror Innovator. We have to just get the cards out. And there's no way to make him... Because the best we could have done was 34 over 1,000, which is not lethal. The issue is, I think we're just dead to, like, literally anything. And it just doesn't matter. We lose. We already lose. This isn't lethal on board. He still has to press buttons. Does Mirror Innovator ever get a fusion? Nope. He's barely an anime card. Alright, so this is 13. So he needs, what, 1800 to kill? He's 200 shy of lethal. He now has lethal damage. Avian spell tactics. Right, if he goes combat, we'll let him kill us. If he starts, like, using fusion and shit, well, yeah, we're just gonna... We'll get out of here. We're not gonna sit here and watch him spin plates for ages. I mean, we knew that the play we were making wasn't very good, but, like... Even so, we were hoping to do a little bit more than that. The big issue we've been having is that we've gone second one time, and that is the only time we haven't opened Essel or Rising Light, which is, like, so bad. It's probably another hero. We're going first again. Watch Essel and Rising Light in the open. I'm going to call it now. Neither. Holy. Why are you... We have two of you, or we have three of these in the deck, and we constantly have them glued to our hand. I think we have to, like, unbrick this. Right, we'll go Reactor. We'll go Reactor. Probably going to Tribute set this. Although, watch this get absolutely punished by Flame Wingman. Alright. I was thinking of Jointech skill with the Jointech hero and not with Stego, and the deck would be really good. It would be. It would be. It would be like... It would be kind of be like the baseball deck, but better, right? That's what, like, fundamentally it would be like. Good old Pot of Greed. I mean, I think this version of the deck might be getting retired after this game. Jointech Hero, One Day Sag. Jointech Hero is such a cool card as well. I think aesthetically it looks cool. Its effect is cool. What it does for the game is cool. It's just all good. It's like no bad. Okay, grabs the fusion. Are we just making Clayman? Oh, Clayman. Are we making Thunder? We're just making Thunder Giant. So we could have put this face up. Thunder Giant couldn't pop it with the effect, but he would just reduce its attack and attack over it. So putting it face down still makes more sense. Star Restart. Have you got an Avian in hand as the last card? Or is this just, I want a 1600 guy on the board? Okay, it's just I want a 1600 guy on the board. I mean, we have a Cyber Dragon, so we can do things. There are things that can be done. All right, go Reactor. I activate Reactor's effect. Then I will special summon Processor. I think the players send this. Get that, use them, use that, tribute both. What's the alternative? Because that gives me 3 attacks. The alternative is like just fuse. Send that, get that, fuse together, use that, bring back a 21. There's still no way to get 3 monsters on the board. Okay. We'll do this then. Out he comes. The alternative is I go for that. No, I don't think it's worth it. I think we still always do this, right? Cyber Twin comes out. We'll go Entry. Imagine if Entry, by the way, could just bring back thingy. That'd be so good. Alright. Now we just hope his back row's nothing, right? Easy. If his back row's just nothing, this is a great play. Just have nothing. Right, so far so good. Still no lethal. Feels bad. You should try the Sidra skill. Oh, we definitely will be. We definitely will be. I just... In my mind, because I played OCG Cyber Dragons so much, it's so hard to separate Mech Lord from Cyber Dragons. Because, like, this is just the boss monster you play in Cyber Dragons in OCG. Or at least it was. You don't really anymore. Lower power, more consistent. I think what this deck really needs is consistent, 100%. Consistency. The only downside is, when we don't have Innovator, all we have to, like, get damage through set 3, which again means, like, our turn 2 play most of the time, is Cyber Twin and then, like, Ancient Gear Golem, which just feels so wonky. Is this the play? You're just going to walk into that? I assume this back row then is something to stop me from killing you. We're down to 600 attack. Is this it? Are we going to see... Nope, it's just combat. Okay. More options than most decks have, to be honest. Kind of. Well, I suppose the big thing is that you can use Curse, right? I mean, we have to play around... Alright, let's summon this and see what he does. No delay. We have to summon this to play around... Thingy. Widespread. Set. Activate Innovator. I'll put these 3 back, just because having them back in rotation is going to be good. Alright, it's probably Slime. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about Slime. No delay on the second. Okay. I mean, there's nothing we could do about that. We had no way to make anything, so... Even if we had a fusion, we didn't have access to triple Cyber Dragon to go for a Cyber End. Okay, adds Burst Dinatrix. With you so far. Also, where have all the Spellcaster players gone, by the way? Usually ladder is just Spellcaster, Spellcaster, Spellcaster. It's been nothing but heroes today. We've played against, what, one Light Galaxy and everyone else has been hero. This skill only lets you fuse once per duel. Well, the other skill is, not this one. This skill has no such stipulation. Requirement once per duel. Set fusion. Draw 1 card. Mind you, I think we only have 1 fusion left. Okay, Starry Start. So he's already used the skill. So there's not going to be a double fusion. Is the plan to just run over this and get in for a chunk of damage and that's it? No, we are going to go for the back row. I don't really care about Cyber Entry. Not having to run fusion is a massive help. Yeah, but as we saw there, 1 fusion didn't close the game. So, like, only having 1 fusion a lot of time isn't going to be enough. Besides, like, we said this like 5 times the stream, but there are like 3 different ways to play Sidra. I don't think any of them are the good way. I think that it's 3 ways, and all of them are bad. It's like, what is the not worst way? So now that has to clear here. This is very strange. Why have you put the boost here? This was the only place you don't put the boost. I feel like they are all decent. Ugh, nah. Like, realistically, none of them do exactly what you want. All of them have a massive setback. Which just like so many other skills just don't have any kind of setback. Why? Is this lethal now? 30... Yeah, this is now lethal. Okay. Is this only just lethal as well? This is going to be, what, 27 plus 34? No, that's 61, right? Yeah. No, it was 100 over lethal. 100 over lethal. Well, what we've learned is we can get absolutely bullied by hero players, really. That's kind of what we've learned so far. Alright, let's swap off of this build then, because this build is clearly not it. It feels like you have to absolutely sack for it to actually do anything. Alright, let's try Lightstar Sign for a little bit. See if it feels any better or not. Sevens players migrated. It does kind of feel like that. It felt like in Speed when... What was the deck called? When Resonators came out and everyone suddenly stopped playing Heroes. And it was like, you know, everyone's just moved off of Heroes onto Resonators, apparently. And then in a similar way, it feels like that again with Utopia. Everyone stopped playing Resonators and moved over to Utopia. I'm a Lightstar Sign believer. I mean, hopefully it'll be alright. We found the Sevens player. We, by the way, Christ. We can't end with two, so we have to, like, do this. There's like no play here, so it's just... I mean, do I just grab that back with Reincarnation to empty the hand? Like, unironically, I think I'm going to do this. I don't think holding onto this for next turn is worth. Having that in the graveyard is still good. Alright, can we avoid a 1400 defense? We can! Okay! That was probably the best we could hope for. You want an Innovator in hand for Rush Dragon? Yeah, but leaving it in hand means we're only getting 4 draws. Which means we might not even be able to find a Rush Dragon in the next 4 draws. Plus, we've got 2 in the deck. So there's an okay chance we draw into one. Also, Rush Dragon is still really awkward, because, like, I don't even know if Rush Dragon is, like, worth. Like, what? Rush Dragon is just Innovator Turbo. Especially if they're, like, full setting. Okay, so he has Fusion, Road Witch, and Roadstar. I'll tell you what, how about you... go and fuck yourself. How about that? Fucking come into someone's chat. I mean, one singular processor plus skill is guaranteed Rush Dragon. I mean, yeah, but then we still have to draw a processor. Okay. We're going into Paladin. taken 21. And then we take 16. Okay. So we would have taken an extra 16. So we wouldn't have been dead. We would not have been dead. So that's at least something. Well, Innovator's back. So we'll go Reactor, activate. Toxic. What do you mean toxic? Bro comes in, is being actually just rude and toxic himself. Like, you get rid of them, and then it's like, oh, how dare you? So what do you mean? What do you mean, brother? So we can use the skill. The question is, what do we do with the rest of the bodies? Alright, we're gonna set this. We'll activate processor. We send this. Bring this out. Tribute 1. Tribute 2. Then we can special summon this out. Now, I probably should have tributed the processor. I think tributing this processor would have been slightly better. I don't know if body-wise it actually makes much of a difference. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. Well, we're not sending that. Oh. So now it just comes down to, would I rather have... Either way, that's fine. We can just do that. I don't know what's statistically better. I would assume getting this out is better. Because having just 3 bodies and not having a defense. Well, you're not going out on the field. So this comes out. Activate the effect. Pop that back. Activate the effect. Pop that back. Why am I sending just 1? I don't know why we're doing this. I'm just like completely on autopilot for like no reason whatsoever. Fuck it. We'll go curse. We're just throwing right now. We're just throwing. That's fine. We didn't even want to win. We didn't need to win. So that means it probably wasn't lethal anyway. It probably wasn't lethal. Tomato is tired or tilted. We're not really tilted. I'm maybe a little bit tired, but we're not tilted. Like, we're playing a bad deck, so like we're not too expectant to win. I mean, best case scenario, we got an extra 1,000 damage in there. So, like, we weren't winning that turn either way. I mean, we should just be mega dead, right? Like, mega ultra dead. Like, super mega chocolatey fudge coated dead. $45. Yeah. That's actually, we're not super duper dead. We're just dead. Which is very surprising. We're only dead by 600. I don't know, man. I think it just feels like, I mean, obviously there's still the last build. I just feel like Sidra just ain't it. Like, it just feels like there are so many decks that feel good to play, and Sidra just doesn't feel good to play. It feels like you just... It's just sack your opponent. The deck. And if you're not sacking, you're not really doing a lot. But again, we haven't, like... Once again, we not got Curse of the Rising Light effect off on turn 2. Which is kind of like one of the biggest things that we've been trying to do. So we've also been getting a little bit unlucky. Would have won if no legend, no misplay. Yeah, but he had a legend, so... So then it just comes sack, right? Because like if he didn't have the legend, then effectively we sacked him. I think the better way to play it might just be use the original skill. But the only issue is I don't think the card quality of Cyber Processor is enough to suddenly push the deck in like a really strong direction. Replace Sidra with Red Boot and there would be no difference. Kind of. It kind of depends though, right? Because Red Boot can do that rather effortlessly without really needing much of anything. You just need to find a boss and you can like set that play up. But for that, we needed to have the graveyard set up, we needed to have 2 innovators, and we needed to have a Cyber Processor. So like we had to jump through a shit ton of hoops to get there, whereas Red Boot just needs to open Red Boot and they can do all of that. Okay, well we're getting bullied a bit by 1500 beaters. That's not great. Well, we have plays. We certainly have plays. Are we going to tribute out both? Probably. In which case, there's no reason to not Essel immediately. We can activate... Well, there goes the Legend Trap. We really want the Legend spell, but that's fine, I suppose. Not so lucky. How do we want to do this? Is there like a specific way that we should be doing this? I don't think it really makes any difference, right? Because no matter what, we can't end with one of them on the field. And we want to have the whole board clear anyway. So I literally don't think it matters. So we'll tribute for this. First time I've seen it baseball piercing. I've done it a few times myself. But yeah, it's not anything crazy. Alright, tribute over this. Activate the effect. Send this. Bring back the Sidra. Okay, so he's got something that triggers on special summon. Christ. Today is really not our day, is it? Yeah. Guess I'll just flip a coin. Tails. Yeah. Go get him, champ. Okay. What's the next part of the play? So he's got the skill online this time. Wait, yeah, he had the skill on last time. What did he send to the graveyard? He's playing double Volcano attack, so he's been randomly pilled on the double Volcano strat. Baseball barely pierces over 16. Correct, but we have a 1200 guy on the board, so he's going to get out of 4400 and run into this. And then we're going to take 32. And then it comes down to if he has, like, TSA, which he could be on. Why is he even playing that? Volcano Attack Dragon is decent in this deck because you can use the skill for either of it. So the skill lets you search any normal monster, so you can search this, so you only have to run one copy of it. But it's also a 2000 defense fire monster, so you can reveal it to activate the skill as well. So then you could just play one copy of this with 3 copies of Secret Order. Oh. Met Rice? I mean, Rice isn't, like, awful in this meta, right? Like, Light Galaxy special summons from hand or graveyard. Heroes special summon from hand or graveyard because they use Starry Start. Spellcasters do with Strange Witch. It's like, I can understand it. There comes the order. The thing... What is he doing, though? Because you could have just gone full combo. You could have had a ridiculous board, done a shit ton of damage to me, cleared both of these and pierced over one of them. But instead, you've just gone for, I want to get an extra 300 damage with this. I don't know, man. This seems like a really bad play, but I think we're still going to lose to it. Now it comes down to, has he got another busted trap? Well, either way, we're special summoning this. Let's see if he has any delay here. No delay there. That's at least something, I suppose. If we go twin, that's going to be, what, 5 plus 13? I mean, we want the +2 either way, right? And the question is, what are we doing with Spinnery? Right, let's go Reincarnation. I'm going to send this. I'm going to grab this. We're going to summon Reactor. Activate Reactor. Pop this back. I mean, that could have been worse. Tribute 1, Tribute 2, summon this. Special the Processor. Activate Processor. Send this. Bring back Sidra. Activate Skill. Is there any reason to not just grab Twin? I think we're just dead anyway. But I think we still always just make Twin here. Maybe we don't. Maybe we like try and high roll it and see what happens. Because it is more damage if we can get a Innovator. Because realistically, Essel ain't doing nothing. That's not an Innovator. Oh, that was the card I wanted to summon. That's fine. Whatever. I'll just keep this. I don't think it matters too much. I don't think we're going to win either way. Oh. Like, even if we'd got the Innovator, I think we could have won there, because it would have been plus 100 plus 15. So that'd be 1600 damage. Yeah, so an Innovator would have been lethal, but nothing else would have. Yeah. Unfortunately, that 10 card in deck restriction. I mean, this is lethal on board, right? So we can just bail. We can just bail. Bro is on Hammer Shot. Yeah, I don't know, man. Sidra just feels like it. At the very least, we haven't tried fusion cybernetic customization combat skill. I think that's going to be the last hope, because these builds that we've been playing feel like ass. Feel like actual ass. Like, don't get me wrong, we haven't been playing it like perfectionly. Like, we have not been making like the most ideal plays of all time. We're going first again with the most going second hand of all time. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. Well, CCC is more consistent, but lower power. The thing is, I feel like this deck doesn't have any power because it's not consistent enough, right? That's the issue we're having. Playing Cyber, surely we win. I mean, we'll see. This just, I don't know, this just feels bad. Cyber Dragon just feels like it's in a really shitty spot right now. Like, we had more success with Royal Rebels. We had more success with Baseball. Like, we were actually winning, like, way more games than we were losing with both of those decks. This is just bad. And we're playing against a lot more meme. Okay. There's nothing, like, spectacular we can do. Our graveyard isn't set up, so it's probably not worth going for, like, anything crazy. So I'll bring this back. Send this. Bring this back. Activate the skill. If we lose to Cyburst, we can put Fries in the back. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Add fusion. If I just... Right. No, there's no... Yeah, it's just this. Right, it's just this. There's no, like... There's no source. There's no, like... super secret, badass play to make. I think it's just this. I can get an extra 500 damage if I activate that. So actually I kind of have to do the masses. So that's 300 plus 500, 800. Plus 20. Jeez, we have so little damage. We actually have so little damage. I don't even want to put this in attack position because we might just randomly die. Actually, if he just gets the maximum, we're just dead. If he drops the maximum next turn, there is nothing we can do, because this is the worst trap in the game for dealing with maximums. I say that. No other trap would... Like, it has to be negate attack. I wouldn't set it either. I don't think it really makes any... Well, check this sick play out. Haha! Now, there is a downside. I now can't bounce his guy on my following turn. 400 life points. Right, so we need... I don't think we can actually deal with this. Like, straight up. We would need an innovator. We have no way to get to an innovator. Even if we got an innovator, that still doesn't guarantee anything. I mean, we literally don't have a play. This is so sad. So the play would have been, don't set Essel. Instead, take this hit. And then try and kill him with this. So it would be hope his back row's nothing. Summon out these three. On the summon, flip over Compulse Bounce. And attack directly for lethal. That would have been the play. So... what we're going to do is... Essel Milk Hope on Reincarnation. Actually, that is actually the best play we have, so... Right, is there a delay? No delay. No! I mean, we got an innovator. Come here, innovator. Summon. these three. Alright, we're gonna full send. We really wanted the other one, but that's fine. No! No! There was no winning! There was never winning! It was Curse. It's Curse as the other set. Ah! Yep. The play was normal summon activate compulse. The problem is that now, with the power of hindsight, we know that wouldn't matter. That would not matter. We were dead anyway. He hard drew maximum negate attack. Well, he had one card left in hand, so he might have had like one piece of the maximum hand already. But he had to draw exactly the other two pieces, right? Almost Sidra, bro. Sidra is rogue. Oh, this is... Oh, this has been such a painful grind. This is such a painful one. The thing is, I didn't expect Cyber Dragon to be, like, incredible, right? But I expected to, like, go up a rank today off of playing this. We've been playing this for about an hour. We have not gone up a single rank. We have lost so many more games than we have won. I think if we'll make this our last game on this build, and then if we play it again, it will be on the actual Cyber Dragon skill. Because this is, to be fair as well, once again, we have not resolved an Essel special summon or a draw 2 off of Curse. And we're going first again. I also think our going first ratio has been insane today. Like, we've gone first so much. So this is probably Heroes again. Alright, let's see what he's got. So I do think there is a decent chunk of just bad luck going on as well. There's not really a lot we can do about that. I don't think I've ever drew off Curse. So we've played Curse in a bunch of different decks that we've done over, like, on Tuesday and a couple of the other streams. We've been drawing off of Curse, like, constantly. Like, we have gotten so many, like, go second, open it, get a shit ton of draws off it. It's just this deck hasn't drawn off of Curse. Alright, well, we'll go Reactor. No delay. Activate Reactor. Put that back in the deck. Draw 2. There's my boy. Been waiting for you. Okay, how do we want to do this? I could just Tribute 1, get him out, do that. Don't like the odds of us high rolling, so we're probably not going to bother with that. Alright, so this is going to be the play. We're going to Tribute over this. Is there a delay? No. Flip this up. Activate the skill. Add Fusion to hand. Activate Fusion. Into Twin. Activate Binary. Gets a boost. That's good because it's Twin. We haven't shuffled our deck yet, have we? Did that fuse that? No. So they don't really see a point in using you yet. But we do need you in the bin. And milling is still good. So we'll go Reactor, activate his effect. Oh, there goes the Legend, that's fine. We'll go Binary again. No delay. Hold. Hold. We did it. Okay. We managed to sack a win. We managed to sack a win. We found it. We found it at the end. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel... just like playing decks in this meta, no deck has felt as bad as this. Even, like I say, even Royal Rebels felt better than this. But I'm not going to pretend that we've like got the perfect deck. I'm not going to pretend we've got the perfect build. I'm not going to pretend that we played it immaculately. Because realistically, none of those things are true. But even playing as like a first impression and playing this sort of thing as not necessarily like the, you know, we're not like try-harding trying to like rank up, but just messing about with a deck, I would still expect the deck to be performing better than how this deck has been performing. So like, I don't know. It's a weird one. It is a weird one. It's not perfect. Overall, I would say this hasn't been like a ton of fun to play, but that might just be what it is, right? But that is going to be it for today. We're going to go ahead and raid into Hao, who looks to be doing some IRL stuff. That'll be interesting to see. I don't know what he's doing, but he's obviously doing something Duel Links or Yu-Gi-Oh related. But we will be back again on Sunday. Sunday will be the next time. Don't forget as well, we are going to be casting the Starry Rush Cup. We're going to be casting the Starry Rush Cup. Did Quantum end up posting his tournament as well? That's the next question. He did! So I'll go ahead and check that in chat as well. So make sure you sign up to Quantum Rush 71. And make sure you sign up to Starry Rush 10. But thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Don't do anything, you're just a follower. And he costs 1. So he doesn't have rush though. He doesn't have rush. Oh my